Good evening. Good evening. I'd like to welcome everyone here tonight for this special occasion of our board meeting. And I'd call this meeting to order. And then I'll ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Harold Brown.
Present.
Maxine Drew.
Present.
Janie Humphries.
Present.
Brenda Jones.
Present.
Wanda Brown McCage. Gardenia Nguyen.
Here.
Cage. Thank you. Can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This time I'd like to take an approval of the for the regular agenda.
I move we approve the agenda. Second.
Motion's been made and second to approve the regular agenda. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposing? Hearing none, so ordered. Thank you. Now for one of the highlights of the night, the recognition and awards. And our first will be the recognition of district music students earning state honors.
Board, I invite you to sit on the front row so you can have a very clear vision of our students. As they come up and are introduced, they'll come to the platform then. So.
See, I forgot just that fast. Hey, baby. Slow down.
Good evening, Board.
Good evening.
On behalf of Jody Lynn, the Director of Fine Arts, it's my pleasure to introduce you tonight to the winners of this year's state honorees in the Music Festival. I'll just face y'all. How y'all doing? My name is Kevin Rutherford. Hopefully everybody can hear me in the back. I am the band director.
Hang on a minute, we'll get you a mic.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Hello, once again. All right, that's better. My name is Kevin Rutherford. I am the band director at Wyandotte High School, and I'm here to talk on behalf of one of my students here. He earned the top rating at regional and state competition. He plays the trumpet. His name is Christopher Hurd. He's a junior at Wyandotte High School. He played a challenging piece called a concerto by Joseph Haydn, and it challenged him a lot, but I think the challenge was more enjoyable than anything. And so I just want to take a few minutes to say I'm very proud of Chris. Very individual. It's more of bringing out what he already had inside of him, so it wasn't that much hard to do, basically. One more thing, as a junior, Chris had the opportunity to audition for the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff, which he actually earned a full tuition band scholarship already. So, thank you. Right. So on top of that, Chris also has straight A's. He's a straight A student. And he served as one of our leaders in the band. So it is, for my first year, it was very enjoyable to have Chris on my side. Really, I'm on his side, so like nationwide. So I appreciated that. I appreciated the support of my principal back there, Miss Mary Stewart, who known Chris before me. So I just appreciate the opportunity to join the team. And my first year, have the privilege to put you up here and just show you off, Chris. So thank you for all your hard work, and thank y'all.
Once again, my name is Christopher Hurd. I'm a junior at Wyandotte High School.
Stand up there with that.
You want me to stand? Good evening. I'm Michelle Sweeten from Sumner Academy. I'm representing Paul White right at this moment. They have a band concert, so I want to introduce the state students for band so they can get onto their concert. Amaya Jadani got a 1 on a band solo at regional and state on her saxophone. The Woodwind Trio, Amaya, Brianna, Elvia, Algar, Brianna Yoger, also got a 1. The Quintet, the Woodwind Quintet, which is Dulce Rodriguez, Tim McLaughlin, Kamijah Hicks, and Giovanna Joyce also received a 1, and Ashton Baldwin.
To introduce themselves, please.
All right, here we go. Count 3. 1, 2, 3. That was not awkward at all.
Can you guys introduce yourselves?
I'm Amaya. I'm a sophomore at Sumner Academy.
I'm Brianna, and I'm a sophomore at Sumner Academy.
I'm Elvia. I'm a junior at Sumner Academy.
I'm Dulce. I'm a freshman at Sumner Academy.
I'm Tim, and I'm a junior at Sumner Academy.
I'm Kamaya, and I'm a junior at Sumner Academy.
My name is Giovanna Joyce, and I'm a junior at Sumner Academy.
I'm Ashton Baldwin, and I'm a senior at Sumner Academy.
And here tonight from Harmon, because they also have a concert, is Felicity Freeling, and she'll tell you what the Harmon state winners were.
Hi, I'm representing JC Harmon, and I'm here to tell you that we got our treble choir and mixed chorale both got Superior 1 ratings this year for the first time in 18 years.
Good evening, I'm Becky Thomas. I'm the choral director at Sumner Academy, and these are some of our state musicians. The hardware they're holding is from our large group things, both our combined women's chorus. Look at the lady with the camera. Both the combined women's chorus and the chorale both got straight 1 ratings at state large group. In addition, our women's ensemble and our chorale men got 1s at state solo and ensemble contest. And in addition, all of these lovely people up here, Aaliyah Peoples here on the end got a 1 on her solo at regionals and state. Enoch Dominguez, regionals and state, 1. Angela is our women's ensemble president, is the reason she's here holding the hardware. And Sunay Fisher got a 1 on her vocal solo, regional and state.
My name is Aaliyah Peoples, and I am a senior at Sumner Academy.
My name is Enoch Dominguez. I'm a sophomore at Sumner Academy.
I'm Angela Gutierrez, and I'm a junior at Sumner Academy.
I'm Sunay Fisher, and I'm a freshman at Sumner Academy.
Okay, now I'm back as myself. Michelle Sweeten from Sumner Academy. I'm the orchestra director at Sumner. We have lots of hardware and lots of wonderful awards that we have received. We also want to take this time to thank the board for all your support in helping us advocate the arts and how very, very important they are, and we appreciate for all your support that you give us in the district. Several of my students that received one at state were not able to be here this evening because of prior commitments. So the ones that are here will step forward when I call them. Mariah Covington received a 1 on violin and viola at state. Adrian Salazar received a 1 at regionals and state. Armando Olivier received a 1 at regionals and state. Alexander Solis received a 1 at regionals and state. Monet Spencer received a 1 at regionals and state. Estella Kim, a 1 at regional and state. Elizabeth Vaughn, a 1 at regional and state. And Ana Vasquez, a 1 at regional and state. These were all on solos. We also had our Comet Racer Trio. That was Toyana Anderson, Nevaeh Chen, and Ivory Reese. We also traveled to Florida this year. Thank you very much for allowing us to go, and received lots of hardware. So we received the concert orchestra received a silver second place award. A symphonic received a gold first place award. They received the outstanding orchestra award, the adjudicator award, and then we also received the sweepstakes award for instrumental. We have to get over a combination of 200 points apiece, and we were very, very proud of that. And then last but not least, our state large group festival, the orchestra, symphonic orchestra, received 1s for the 5th year in a row, straight 1s. Thank you.
No.
You guys,
Do
you want them to?
Yes. We're going to put them back once we have all the music up.
Did they introduce themselves?
Oh, that's right.
All right.
My name is Swan Sona. I'm a senior and I play the cello in symphonic orchestra.
My name's Olivia Jones. I'm the vice president of Symphonic Orchestra, and I'm a senior.
My name's Alex Luis, and I'm a sophomore at Sumner Academy.
I'm Adrian Salazar, and I'm a sophomore at Sumner Academy.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Vaughn. I'm president of the Symphonic Orchestra, and this is my senior year.
Hi, I'm Riaja Watson. I'm the treasurer of the concert orchestra, and this is my junior year.
Hi, my name is Ivory Reese. I'm the freshman orchestra president.
Hi, I'm Toyana Anderson, and I'm a senior at Sumner Academy.
Good evening. I am Mr. Green at Washington High School, and I am here to represent the Washington High School Concert Band. We received a Superior 1 rating at the State Festival this year. It was a lot of hard work went into it. This is our 3rd Superior rating in the last 4 years. Our students have been working very hard. In addition to our concert band achievements, we received 4th place in the Baker High School Battle of the Bands in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and also 1st place in the Circle City Classic this past September in Indianapolis, Indiana. Our students have been working very hard to maintain a complete comprehensive program at Washington, and I'm very proud of them. I have a great set of parents, a great support from my administration, and I am going to have one of our students come up and introduce herself from the concert band.
Hi, I'm Maria Morales. I play clarinet. I'm a senior this year, and I will be attending K-State. I don't know if I'm gonna do band yet, but maybe. Well, throughout the year, we had marching band, concert band, but we do have a lot of practices throughout the year. We had a lot of hard times together, some arguments, but we worked very hard, and thanks to him, we got a 1 this year, and hopefully after he leaves this year, we make the band better.
Right. Thank you so much. Thank you.
call the music.
Okay, let's, everybody. All right, so you guys are on the floor. You got it. And actually, you guys go up a step or up to the top. All right. And then you're just, there you go. Okay, right in here. And let's you guys come closer. Let's fill in. Yeah. You gotta get a lot closer. Watch her get closer. Fill in that space here in the middle.
That's good. Okay. Can everybody see me?
Michelle.
Hey, Ressa, we can't see Michelle. Perfect. Okay, here we go, everybody. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
And I'm sorry, before we leave, I do want to acknowledge our choir director, Miss Lori Powell, and the women's ensemble at Washington High School, who also received a Superior 1 rating, and this is their second year in a row doing that. So let's give Miss Powell a round of applause, please.
Board, we're going to swap 2 items real quickly for you. The next group that we're going to meet with is Robotics team from Harmon.
Good evening. This is Harmon's Robotics Club. We've been doing robotics for about 13 years, and this year we got fortunate enough to be asked, invited to the World Championship in Houston, Texas. And I'd like to thank administration and the school board for supporting us on this trip, because it was quite, it was a last-minute big thing. And these are not all of our students, but these are the students that could make it here tonight. And I'd also like to mention that 4 of our robotics students are KC Scholar recipients, and that means that I guess most of you know that they get $10,000 a year for 5 years to go to help pay for their college. And just mention at Houston, there were over 400 robotics teams there competing. And they were all teams that won regionals for the most part. So the competition was very, it was high, very, very high level. And our kids had to communicate and collaborate and with other teams. And I was very proud of the way they did. And I'll let them introduce themselves. Mr. Dumboya.
Yeah, good evening. My name is Lamine Dumboya. I'm at my teacher, J.C. Hammond, had an engineering as well. I just want to say thank you to KU Gear Up. Dr. Lynn here, and Gammon, that's one of our sponsors. Like Mr. Shannon, he said, we did this for a while now, and we want to continue doing that for years to come here, at least leave it behind if you have to do something else. But this is for science, engineering, and technology, and we want to actually, hopefully, we can have that in a district at the higher levels and get our kids involved in things like that. For that, I have to say our number 1 sponsor, our number 1 fan is sitting to my right, Dr. Lane. So for that, the kids put something together real quick, and we actually want to present to Dr. Lane for all of our efforts over the years. Yeah, we also, hopefully she's not going to forget us, so we get a nice little T-shirt. Just don't wash it, okay?
We do have a poster that says, at the bottom, that says, once a hawk, always a hawk versus a partner. And then we have a certificate for her for being our #1 fan.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much, and the kid's going to go ahead and introduce himself real quick. Thank you. Introduce yourself.
I am Alexi Ricardo. I'm sophomore, and I'm studying with Casey Harmon. Yeah.
I'm Leslie Chavez, and I'm a freshman in JC Harmon.
I am Edgar Perez, and I'm a sophomore, and I'm from JC Harmon.
I'm Annie Zhang. I'm a junior at JC Harmon.
I'm Alexis Gonzalez, and I'm a junior at JC Harmon.
I'm Leslie Moreno Perez. I'm a junior at JC Harmon High School.
My name is Isaac Sam, and I attend JC Harmon.
My name is Mario Mendoza, and I'm a junior at JC Harmon.
Yeah, I just want to say quickly that the championship that we just got invited to, only 2 students are graduating this year. So most of our kids, about 20 of them, most of them are 11th grade, 10, and 9. So I got a high expectation for them this year. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Amanda Chavez, and I am the Resource Development Officer here at the district. And I'm excited to be here to help recognize some of our scholarship recipients. We are going to start with the Lane Family Scholarship.
We are really grateful to stand in front of you tonight as representatives of our family. Many of you are aware that in the past, based on all the gifts that this community has given to me, that I have awarded a scholarship to a graduating senior. This past year, we lost both of our parents. And in memory of them, a memorial scholarship was set up. So we're combining the scholarship that I was privileged to be able to give with this memorial scholarship. Thank you to many of you who contributed to that scholarship. Music has always been at the heart of our family, although I have to tell you, I think most of the talent went in this direction. But we're really pleased to be here tonight to present 2 scholarships.
Our parents were always very, very supportive of education and plus the arts. They were always finding ways for all four of us to have lessons and everything. We were also known as the Federation Kansas State Family, musical family, long time ago. So when Cindy came up with this idea, I said, this is wonderful. And we had several students apply for it, and the idea is that they need to be going into the music field, either education or performance or both. And we had two very, very talented young ladies. And it was really, really hard. And she and I read everything at different times, and we both agreed that we needed to have 2 scholarships for these wonderful special ladies that both will be going into music.
So it's our privilege tonight to present 2 $3,000 scholarships. First to Felicia Fairling. Felicia, want to come up? J.C. Harmon? Yeah. And next?
Elizabeth Vaughn from Sumner Academy.
Really proud of you ladies, and we hope that you will go make great music and change lives. Congratulations.
Here we go. Count 3. 1, 2, 3.
Hi, I'm Liz. I'm graduating from Sumner this year. I'll be going to Ottawa University to major in music education, and then I'm going off of the a bunch of scholarships, not a bunch of scholarships, but a scholarship Miss Sweden got me in a basketball scholarship in academic. And I just want to say thank you so much to Miss Sweden and Dr. Lane. Miss Sweden was the main reason why I wanted to be a music educator, because of how she opened doors for us at Sumner and had us travel and whatnot. And it opened my eyes. So I wanted to be an outlet to kids and whatnot, because I feel like a lot of times young minds are corrupted or don't have that guidance that they need. And Miss Sweden was that guidance for me. And so she was a really, really big part in me deciding what I wanted to do with my life. And so I just want to say thank you for her and Dr. Lane for awarding both of us with this. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Felicity Freeling, and I am a senior at J.C. Harmon High School, and I plan to go to UMKC for their music conservatory program for classical composition, writing music, and I just wanted to say that this district and the music teachers in it are the main and only reason that I have decided to start writing music, so thank you so much.
Next, I would like to ask if Miss Deborah Vinoy is here.
Good evening, everyone. It's an honor to stand before you. Let me start. My name is Shania Robinson, and this is my mother, Deborah Vinoy, and we're standing before you all to present a scholarship in honor of my father, Roy Vinoy. Sorry. When my father passed away on August 5th, 2015, our family knew that we wanted to honor his legacy, but we weren't sure in what capacity. We prayed and had several discussions and came to the conclusion that since music was such a large passion of his, we wanted to incorporate music, but how? Our family has committed to give out an annual scholarship to a student who is pursuing a music degree in college. A biologist by profession, music was a passion of my dad's on the side. He always wished that he had the opportunity to pursue music in college and receive formal training, but that just was not encouraged during his time. Because he was not able to, he always encouraged the young people that wanted to pursue a career in music to get a formal education in the subject. He believed that talent alone can only open so many doors, but once you have that piece of paper in your hand, you'll be unstoppable. Our family decided that we wanted to give the scholarship to a student in USD 500, but not just any school. As a Sumner graduate, I was a little biased, but since it's not about me, we decided that we wanted to pay special attention to J.C. Harmon because my father was an alum and he spoke very highly of his time there, especially in the band under the leadership of Mr. Daniels. So it's our honor to give our first scholarship to a young lady that is very deserving and has a bright future. And to Felicity, I would like to leave you with three sayings that my father always lived by. Number 1, stay green so you can grow. Number 2, never forget where you come from. And number 3, always be willing to give back without expecting anything in return. Thank you.
Next will be the Foundation for Excellence scholarships.
Good evening, board, friends in KCKPS, parents, and students and scholars. I'm the president of the Foundation for Excellence here in KCK, and we're going to announce our scholarship winners tonight. Most of our funds for scholarships was started when Carl Bruce started the golf tournament. And we have been giving away about 18 scholarships every year, but in this year, to honor Carl Bruce, who kind of started the funds flowing in for that purpose, we added an extra one. So this year there'll be 19 scholarships. And so here they are. I'll have them come and say their first and last name, the school they came from, and something about their future plans in college.
Hello, my name is Gemma Aguilar, and first I'd like to say it's very nerve-wracking being one of the first people to come speak up here. It's one of the gifts my father gave me for giving me his last name. I currently attend J.C. Harmon High School, and I will be studying at the University of Missouri, Kansas City to pursue a career in pharmacy. All my life I've always wanted to help people, and being in the medical field, I get to explore a lot of that and helping my community hands-on. And I'm just very excited to be here, and I thank all of you for this wonderful opportunity.
Hi, I'm Isaiah Allen. I'm going to attend Kansas State University next year and major in apparel and textile design. I'm really inspired by people like Virgil Abloh and Kanye West, who have risen from the bottom of fashion and made it all the way to the top. And I just want to thank the Board of Excellence for this opportunity.
Hello, I'm Brianna Ayala, a senior from Wanda High School, and I'm planning to go to Park University to study psychology. And I want to thank the board for this opportunity too. So thank you.
I'm back. I'm India Barnett. I come from Sumner Academy. I was just here not too long ago for the full IB recognition. I plan on going to K-State and majoring in biomedical engineering, and I just want to thank for the opportunity to be able to pursue my dreams.
Hello, my name is Brielle Christian, and I'm an International Baccalaureate Diploma candidate from Sumner Academy. And in the fall, I plan on attending the University of Missouri-Columbia to major in accounting. And I really wanted to major in that to increase the understanding of financial literacy in my community and give back.
short. Let me get this down. Hi, my name is Zarina Cooper. I am from Washington High School. I am going to KCC for 2 years, and I'm going to transfer to K-State to have a major in psychology, but mostly in industrial organizational psychology. And I want to thank you for this opportunity, and yeah.
Good evening. My name is Rhoda. I'm from Washington High School, and I'm planning to attend to K-State University and major in social science. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Jose Del Toro. I'm a senior at Washington High School, and I plan to go to Wichita State University for 4 years and get my master's in business administration, after which I will go to culinary school to learn further my skills in cooking, and I hope to open a restaurant within 10 years after that. And I'd like to thank you. And I'd like to thank the board for this opportunity and the scholarship to further my dreams, follow my dreams, and make sure y'all visit my restaurant when it's open.
Hello, my name is Emily Elizalde. I'm a senior at Wyandotte High School. I plan to attend Park University and major in biology, and I want to thank everyone for this great opportunity.
My name is Zion Evans. Am I close enough? Yeah. My name is Zion Evans. I'm a senior at Washington High School, and I plan to go to K-State to major in marketing management and research. Thank you.
How are you guys doing? My name is Rogelio Fernandez. I go to J.C. Harmon High School, and I plan on going to K-State and majoring in computer engineering. And I just want to say thank you guys for choosing me, and hopefully I'll do big things. Well, not hopefully, I am going to do big things.
Hello everyone, I am Shauna Herr. I'm a senior at Washington High School. I want to go to Park University and major in nursing and become a pediatrician nurse. And I would like to thank the board for this opportunity.
Hi, my name is Evelyn Irigoyen, and I'm a senior at J.C. Harmon High School, and I plan to attend the University of Missouri, Kansas City to major in nursing. And I would like to thank the board for giving me this amazing opportunity.
Hello, I'm Viviana Lanusa. I'm a senior at Wyandotte High School. I will be attending Northwestern University and majoring in human development and psychological services. I want to thank the Foundation for Excellence for this wonderful opportunity, for allowing me and all of these other students to come closer to achieving our goals and going to college. So thank you.
Good evening, my name is Patchy Lore, and I'm a full IB student at Sumner Academy, and I would like to thank the board for this wonderful opportunity. And I'm going to major in speech language hearing at the University of Kansas.
Hello, my name is Leslie Ponce Diaz. I attend Sumner Academy, and I'm a senior. I'm also full IB, since everyone else that is. And I'm planning on attending Rhode Island School of Design, and I want to study sculpture and graphic design. So like he wanted to open a restaurant, I want to open my own exhibition here. So go visit that too.
Hello, my name is Dota. I am a senior at FL Schlegel High School. I plan to attend the University of Missouri, Kansas City to major in medicine.
Hi, my name is Alicia Zamora. I plan to attend the University of Central Missouri to major in athletic training. I go to Sumner Academy.
Good evening, my name is Nguyen Zing, and a student of Washington High School. I plan to attend Baker University to earn my bachelor degree and plan to continue my medical school in KU. I just want to thank you for KCK Foundation for the Excellent Scholarship opportunity to continue my education. Thank you.
Next up is the Troy Hodges Memorial Scholarship.
Hi. Good evening. I'm Kathy Hodges. I represent the Troy Hodges Memorial Scholarship. My husband Troy was a longtime coach and teacher at J.C. Harmon. And when he passed away, 2 of his former students and athletes came to me and said they wanted to start the scholarship. So today I'm here to introduce to you 8 2018 Troy Hodges Memorial Scholars. And I've been visiting with these young people, and they are an amazing group. And I want to offer my congratulations to them and also to all the applicants for the scholarships this year. It was a tough choice. And I also want to congratulate the parents, teachers, coaches, and the school board for preparing these students for their path into success in the future. So here are the 2018 Troy Hodges Memorial Scholars.
Hello again, my name is Gemma. I'm the person who would like to be a pharmacist in the future. I can't give my spiel about my dad's last name anymore, so as a future pharmacist, I just want to remind all of you, don't forget to get your flu shots. It's, may not be very effective, but you don't want to catch the flu, so thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Albert Maliko. I go to J.C. Harmon, and I want to go to French University. I want to be a dermatologist. Thank you, everybody.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. My name is Yasmin Nara, and I will be attending Brigham Young University in Idaho, and I plan to be a pharmacist, and not a pharmacist, a physical therapist. And sorry. And I would just like to thank Ms. Hodges for this great opportunity, and for everyone else who has been in my life and has helped me be where I am right now. Thank you.
My name is James Malloy. I go to J.C. Harmon High School. I plan on going to UMKC for urban planning and design. I want to thank Mrs. Hodges, my mom, my dad, rest in peace, my father, my pastor, and my godmother. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Karina Ordaz. I go to JC Harmon High School. I'll be attending Park University, and I'll be going into nursing. And I just want to say thank you so much, Mrs. Hodges, because this opportunity is letting me to continue to make my parents proud, because I'll be the first person to go to college from our family, and thank you so much.
Hello, my name is Bernie Tatar, and I'm from Wyandotte, and I'm a senior, and I want to thank you for everybody for giving me this opportunity.
Hello, my name is Vanessa Tirado, and I go to JC Harmon. I plan to attend KU next year and major in nursing. And first, I want to say congratulations to all the recipients here. I'm sure you're here for a reason. And then I want to say thank you to my family and to the district for blessing me with this scholarship. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Luang Tang. I'm from Wyandotte High School. I will be attending at Kansas Christian College and majoring music. I just want to say thank you to my family, my coaches, my teacher, and Ms. Hodges. Thank you.
Mrs. Hodges, would you like to join? All right, here we go. Count three. 1, 2, 3.
Next up is our MVP Reasons to Believe Scholarship.
Good evening. Good evening. I want to thank you for my scholarship. No, my name is James White, and I'm a former employee of District 500 for many years. I also served on the Foundation for Excellence Board for a number of years. After my retirement, I went to work for McNanny Van Cleveland Phillips, known as MVP. The next two students are known as the MVP students. That's most valuable students. No, they all are valuable. So anyway, McNanny has been giving out scholarships since 2007. This is the 11th year that we give two $1,250 scholarships for a total of $2,500 to two students. And so this year we're very proud to introduce you to the next two MVP students.
Good evening. My name is Brittany Hawthorne Crosby, and I would like to thank Mr. White and the board for this scholarship. Also, I would like to give a big thank you to my parents, because I wouldn't be here without them, and thank you to the board as well.
Good evening. My name is Antonio Rollins. I go to Washington High School. I'm a senior. And I want to go to Wichita State University and major in exercise science and become a personal trainer. Thank you.
The other thing you should know is that Attorney Greg Goheen has a lot to do with this scholarship program. We can't do it without his approval. So, Mr. Goheen.
everybody in count 3. 1, 2, 3.
Next up, we have the Wyandotte Masonic Lodge Scholarship.
Good evening. My name is Frank Keady, Wyandotte Lodge number 3, Ancient, Free, and Accepted Masons of Kansas. And I am accompanied by worshipful brother Charlie Stevens. We are Ancient, Free, and Accepted Masons of Kansas, and we go back into the 1600s. Not quite me, but we're there. And as they say, all things can really throw a curve. This is our first time here, but just to give you an idea of the scope of the Masons, I believe the last I read, the Masons in Kansas has been participant in and has donated over $13 million to KU Cancer Fund. So we are serious. So we are serious when we say we believe in philanthropy. This is Wyandotte Lodge number 3's first kick at the cat on doing it on our own for Wyandotte area. And we have pulled together with the help of Amanda Chavez and others $1,000 scholarships. And we have a total of 10 tonight, and they will be continuing. And just to let you know that things can really go curvy on you, I was sitting back there and my contacts fell out. So I believe in belts and suspenders, so I brought my glasses. So Brother Charlie Stevens, would you pass them out and come up and state your name, school?
Hello, how are you guys doing this evening? My name is Christian Hayes, and I am attending Washington High School. I will be graduating there. And I plan on going to K-State University to major in computer engineering.
Hello. My name is Janisha Wells. I'm graduated from Washington. I'll be attending Langston University to study secondary education. And I just want to thank everybody out there. I want to give a special shout out to my mama because she's making a star. And I also want to give a shout out to the whole back row back there because they're my team. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Shirley Tao. I'm a senior at FL Shilego High School. I will be going to the University of Missouri, Kansas City. I'm going to be majoring in chemistry to become a cosmetic chemist.
Good evening. My name is Nancy Vang. I'm a senior at FL Shilego High School. I plan to attend Kansas State University and major in pre-veterinary medicine.
Hello, I'm sure all of you know me by now, so I won't. And I'm all out of jokes, too, so, I'd just like to take this time to thank the Wyandotte Masonic Lodge for having us over for dinner last Friday. It was a very wonderful night. Everyone was very happy, and it was just a wonderful time. I'd also like to apologize to Frank here. They give out big checks, so when I went up to receive the check, I pretty much just took it out of his hand, and Didn't think twice of it. I'd also like to thank both my parents for always motivating me to do my best, and all of this work is for them, so thank you.
And it was a big check.
If you decide not to go to the pharmacy, please be a comedian. Yeah. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thank you all for doing this project. It means a lot.
Okay, next up we have the Virginia E. Schinkel Scholarship, and this is awarded in memory of Miss Virginia Schinkel, a longtime family and consumer science teacher who retired from Harmon High School. The scholarship is $2,000 and awarded to high school seniors who plan to major in a family and consumer science related area.
Hello everyone, my name is Datasha Carlock. I am a senior at Sumner Academy and I will be attending Pittsburgh State University to major in interior design. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Annalicia Curlo. I also go to Sumner Academy and I'll also be going to Pittsburgh State University to major in interior design.
Hello, I'm Kennedy Harris. I attend Washington High School. I plan to go to Wichita State to receive my master's in social work.
Our final scholarship of the night is going to Miss Dana Herrera, and this is the Promise of Learning Scholarship of $1,000. It's awarded to one eligible high school senior who is on track to graduate Diploma Plus with a minimum of 9 college credits and who exhibits leadership both in and outside of school.
Hello, good evening. I'm Dana Herrera, and I attend FL Schlegel. And I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the College Career Center, Dr. Hal, who is a counselor and who got me and my classmates to be involved and to look for scholarships and opportunities. And I will be, attending the University of Kansas and going in the field of business, and we'll see what comes out of that. Thank you.
Now we'd like to recognize our district debate and forensics specialists.
Good evening. I am Billy Brame, and I get to be the debate for middle school debate liaison, and I also am the coach at Arrowhead Middle School, and we had some really strong district-wide. I know West had some people in the top 20, and they don't get to be here tonight. Oh, they missed, yeah. And so I want to introduce Bennett was in 5th place, right, in Congress. So say a little bit about Congress speaking, Bennett.
Congress is the system of students giving several speeches on a wide range of topics that include things to help with our district and things to help with our country as a people. So.
Good evening, I'm Leanne Losh from Rosedale Middle School, and we had 3 young ladies make it in the top 20, and the other 2 ladies cannot be here this evening, but I will let this lady introduce herself. She was number 10 in the top 20 power ranking, so we're very proud.
My name is Janessa Gillespie. I currently go to Rosedale Middle School, and next year I'll be going to Sumner.
I'm Kevin Kinsell. I'm the Director of Speech and Debate at Harmon High School. This is my very first season teaching speech and debate, and it was awesome. Thanks to the Debate Kansas City family, we did quite well this year, including some top rankings for our novice division. We also were one of the first, I think Felicity was the first qualifier from Harmon High School to Keisha's 6A, which is kind of the top dog, tournament in over 30 years. So I'm very proud of my squad, and if they want to talk a little bit, that'd be great.
Oh, this is happening now, huh? Hi, I'm Luis Alfonso Valdez, and this is also my first year doing this. I mean, I did it in middle school, but this was like legit my first year, and I want to thank Mr. I want to thank Mr. Kinsella for really guiding me through it and like pushing me to become like this. I didn't think I was going to win this year. This kind of happened out of nowhere. That's Mr. Kinsella. That was one hell of a story. It was crazy.
I'm sorry, I can't be that funny. That was beautiful. I am Felicity Freeling from J.C. Harmon High School, and this was my second year doing forensics, and I qualified for state for solo serious acting or dramatic interpretation.
Good evening, I'm Jamel Brown at Sumner Academy. And I have a few students with us this evening. We had 4 of the top 20 in middle school for the city champs. None of them could be here this evening, our 8th graders. We have J. Leon Brown and Amara Freeman, who finished first place in the Debate Kansas City Junior Division of the policy tournament. We also have Alicia Freeman, who placed second just this past weekend at the Keisha 4A State Forensics Championship Tournament in dramatic interpretation. Then we have Swan Sona, who placed double first in extemporaneous speaking and also in impromptu speaking at state this past weekend. They're all also national qualifiers and have done great things. I'll let them tell you more.
Hi, I'm Alicia, and I'm a sophomore at Sumner.
Hello, I'm Nimar Freeman, and I'm a freshman at Sumner Academy.
Hello, my name is Jayleon Brown, and Debate and Forensics has done so much for me, and I can't wait to continue the rest of my years in high school. Thank you.
All right. Hello, my name is Swan Sona. I'm a senior at Sumner Academy. Since this is going to be my last time being up here tonight, I just want to share some more of my accomplishments. Sorry. I was a finalist for the National Exemplary Student Service Award by the National Speech and Debate Association for my work in the Sumner Forum. I created my own political discussion forum at Sumner Academy. We discussed issues of social justice and political theory. I've also qualified all my years in high school to the national tournament, so I'll be nationally recognized for that. I hope to win nationals this year. And I'm going to go to Kansas State University, double major in political science and philosophy, and minor in economics.
Here we go. Can I 1, 2, 3. That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. That's a good thing. I didn't want to go too far. I just wanted to live on campus, you know, to grow up, but be close to home. It was the best years of my life.
Is it working, your headset? Speak into it.
Okay.
Who's doing your student?
Oh, Student of the Month. Miss Janie and, excuse me, Dr. Wynn will be redoing the reading. Janie will present. I get so sick of this.
Need mine?
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
Good evening and congratulations to everyone. And now we're going to see our future winners. Student of the Month recognition. Our first is Ariana Garcia Sanchez, Pre-K, Douglas Elementary School. Nominated by Brittany Williams, Teacher Associate, Douglas Elementary. She writes, Ariana is a positive role model for all the students in the classroom. She is so hardworking, kind, and respectful. Ariana participates in all classroom activities and gives it her all. She is so wonderful to have in class, and we are so lucky to have her. Sincerely, Brittany Williams.
Well, I know that some of the scholars we've seen here this evening started out just this way. And we hope and we thank you very much for this opportunity. And it is a joy to work with her every day. We want to thank our principal, Ms. Taylor, for supporting our school district and our school and our classroom. So thank you, Ward, for this recognition. And you may see her later when she gets a little older. Thank you.
No.
So, Ariana.
Put it to your mouth.
No, she has a head mic on.
It's not picking up.
Standing. This one. Okay, so you're in preschool and you have a little sister. And what do you like best about preschool?
Kids.
Do you like recess best?
Yeah.
Yes? Do you like reading?
Yeah.
What kind of stories do you like to read?
Mikey.
What kind? Okay. What do you think you might want to be when you grow up? Real loud. Can I say it real loud? Okay. Do you like to play games outside?
Yes.
Yes? Who did you bring with you tonight?
Kids.
Tell them to stand up. Say their names. Your sister? Okay, sister, stand up. Mom here? And maybe Grandma? Who else came? Dad?
Yeah.
Yes?
Our teacher.
And your teachers?
Yeah.
Yes? So, do you think that when you're in elementary school, you're going to be a student of the month again?
Yeah.
She said, yeah.
So, you're going to work really, really hard in kindergarten next year?
Yeah.
Yes? Do you ever say no?
Yeah.
No? Just a minute, I'm going to get something for you, okay? Step sideways just a little bit. All right. Oh my goodness, yours has a green.
Matches her dress.
Do you like the color green? You have green in your dress. This says that Ariana is Student of the Month for May 2018. Your name is on it. And when you go to school next, you're going to wear this and you're going to show all of your friends that you are Student of the Month for the Kansas City, Kansas Public Schools preschool. How's that sound?
What a sweetheart.
Our next student is Jonathan Leiva Medina. Second grade, John Fisk Elementary, nominated by Sarah Mendez, ESL teacher, John Fisk. She writes, Johnny is a vivacious, extremely hardworking, and friendly boy. He always participates in every aspect of the school day as much as he can. Johnny excels in all academic areas and is an extremely balanced bilingual. Being a balanced bilingual demonstrates exceptional grit and family support because Johnny has only gone to school in English-speaking settings.
Nice.
Johnny's amazing. He's totally embarrassed right now because his entire family is here, and like it's a lot of people, but they all adore him. That's like the best. They all love each. They're just a really great family. The way they are together. And Johnny, I'm supposed to embarrass you more. Ms. Van Osdal told me right before I left, she said, I'm not going to make it. You need to tell them that all the kids are really good at singing. So apparently you're also musical on top of all the other things. So keep it up.
It sounds like you are just a super duper kid. Is everything she said true?
Yeah.
What's your favorite part of the school day?
Recess.
What about maybe science or history or reading? Do you like to read?
Yeah.
What kind of books do you like to read?
Magic Treehouse.
Oh, those are really good. I used to read those to my grandkids. Those are really good books. So, what do you think you might want to be when you get out of high school? Would you like to solve mysteries like the Magic Treehouse?
I would like to be a police officer.
A police officer? All right. Who did you bring with you tonight? Tell me who's here with you.
My mom, my dad, my brothers, my sister, and my teacher.
You brought the whole family and the school. So, do you know what this says? It says that Jonathan is Student of the Month for elementary school for May 2018. Do you know what that means?
Yeah.
What's it mean?
That I'm the student of the month.
And he's a student of the
It
month.
means you're a very, very special, outstanding student. And when you get into middle school, you can win another one of these. Then you'll have 2. And then in high school, you could win one and have 3 of them. Wouldn't you like that?
Yeah.
We want you to wear this to school tomorrow, and you show everyone that this is yours and that you are special and you worked hard, and they can earn one of these too. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Our next recognition is Sunday 1, 7th grade, West Middle School. Nominated by Sharon Smith, ELA teacher, West Middle School. She writes, Sunday 1 is an upstanding, hardworking role model in our West Middle School community. Ms. Smith.
Okay. It is my honor and privilege to celebrate Sunday 1, one of my 7th grade students at West Middle School. As a teacher at West, I'm always looking for students who do the right thing. I frequently see students who show compassion and respect to their peers. I see students who show integrity and honesty even when it's hard. And I witness patience when students team and communicate with each other. What makes Sunday different is that she shows all of these traits and more every day. I've been blessed to have Sunday in my classroom all year. I have seen her be a team player, practice responsibility, and take pride in doing even more than she has asked in her work. She expresses perseverance and ambition when she refuses to take no for an answer and pushes even harder to get what she wants. She is goal-oriented and growth-minded and an excellent example to her peers. She shows compassion and empathy to others and expresses a positive attitude about her education. To me, with her upstanding character, Sunday has earned this award every month this year. Congratulations, and thank you, Sunday, for representing West Middle School with pride and with honor. I wish you the best at Sumner Academy. They are lucky to receive you.
I think you have a very, very strong advocate over there. She just painted you as being just a wonderful girl. Is everything true?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Would your parents agree?
Yes.
What is your favorite class in school, the one that you really look forward to going to?
FA.
FA?
Okay. Family advocacy.
What's so special about FA?
We don't do any work.
What is your second favorite class?
Probably lunch.
Lunch. You just don't want to pick a favorite class so you'd hurt other teachers' feelings, huh?
No.
So, what would you like to do when you get out of high school with your Diploma Plus?
I want to become a photojournalist.
Journalist? Any specific paper you want to write for?
I want to write about events that happen all over the world so people will also know about it.
Okay. You're taking a lot of English classes then. Yeah. So you must like English.
I guess I so.
I guess.
When you read, what kind of a book are you apt to pick up? Just for fun, not for class.
Books that are like about like animals and plants, like about nature. Yeah.
Who did you bring with you tonight?
I brought my mom, my big sister, and my little sister with me.
All of West.
You guys stand up.
And did you bring some people from your school?
Yeah, my teachers. All of them? Yeah. Oh, Miss Smith, Miss Wilson, Miss Gomez, Miss Hernandez, Miss Campbell, Miss Wilson, Mr. Urban, Mr. Byron, Miss Garvey, Mr. Dean, Mr. Bells, Miss McIlvain.
About all the students, the whole teachers.
Just all of them.
Just all of them?
Just all of them.
When you go to school tomorrow, what are you going to do?
Wear my medal.
You're going to wear your medal to school and tell the kids that you got it because?
I earned it.
You earned it. That's right, you earned it.
I like that.
So it says that Sunday 1 is the Student of the Month for May 2018, and it's presented to you by the Kansas City, Kansas Board of Education. And in a couple of years, you'll be up here getting the High School Student of the Month. Mm-hmm. Promise?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be looking for you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next student is Michelle Armitage, 12th grade F.L. Schlegel High School, nominated by Dominique DeRosa, teacher. He writes, Michelle will be graduating in May from F.L. Schlegel High School, and I'm surprised that she has never been nominated as Student of the Month. Michelle is everything you want in a student: focused, driven, kind, respectful, and most of all, one of the best examples of a Schlegel stallion. Michelle has grown so much in her years at Schlegel. I will be sad to see her leave. However, I am looking forward to seeing the great things that she will accomplish and how she will change the world. Very nice. Very
nice. She's giving me the look. I see that look a lot in class. Stephen King wrote, "A quiet people have the loudest minds." This describes Michelle to a T. She may be quiet, but that mind is firing on all cylinders. And I've watched this young lady grow from a shy, timid young lady to the young lady that she is now. And she is stepping forward, taking charge, and she's taking names. The mantra in my room is be responsible, be respectful, and be ready to learn. She does that. She blows those expectations away. And I have this whole thing I was going to read here, but she said something as we were coming in that she doesn't understand why she's getting this award. Michelle, you've earned this by leading by example of how to be the perfect student, to be the perfect stallion. I wish I had a classroom full of students like you, because you challenge me in my teaching. You make sure I'm on my A game all the time, and I thank you for that. So, Michelle, there's a lot of things I'd like to say, and I'm probably saying before you graduate, but ask her about her novel she's working on. She's been working on that. I can't wait to see this novel. And ask her about price tags.
All right.
Well, first of all, thank you, Mr. DeRosa. You're very kind. So I'm an aspiring author, and I'm currently working on a novel that is based off of mythology. One of my main characters is called a Doulahan. It is a sort of creepy creature, but I thought it needed a little bit of recognition, so I'm currently working through with getting that novel out and published. Recently, with the whole school shootings and everything, the students of Parkland created some price tags, and I decided that for the state of Kansas, I was going to do the same thing. So I had created some price tags. I do not have them with me currently, but I plan to distribute them through my school of F.L. Schlegel, and hopefully they may even spread further throughout the high schools and onward.
Do you have any time to rest?
I do actually have some time to rest. It's usually that my mind is working while I'm resting, so.
So what are you going to do next year?
That depends. If I'm here, I'm going to go to KCKCC Community College and finish out the basics. If I am not here, I'm going to take a gap year and then go to Oregon State University to hopefully get my English master's.
All right. Nice.
I can see why your teacher says you're a good example for the other students. You're very determined to do what you want to do, and you've got a plan. So that's what we ask of all of our kids. Get a plan and see what you need to do to get there. Now, who did you bring with you tonight?
Tonight I brought my father, my mother, and an old elementary school teacher.
Old elementary.
Mrs. Popchoke.
That's a good one.
I do see Mrs. Thompson, our principal. I see Ms. Howell, or Dr. Howell. Mr. DeRosa is here as well. And then I did see a couple of my classmates. I saw Shirley, Nancy, and Dana and Dot. If you all would stand up for me, please.
Okay, well, this is the last chance you have to get one of these. But you're still going to wear it to school tomorrow.
Of course.
And you're going to share with all of the underclassmen that they too can get this. They just have to put their mind to it. And you're a very good example of our students. Thank you very much. Michelle Armitage, Student of the Month, May 2018.
Thank you all for coming out tonight. I hope you have a great evening.
Thank you, Janie. Next, we have our Employee of the Month recognition. Maxine Drew will be reading. And Ms. Page will be presenting.
Our first person is Elvira Hurley, principal of West Middle School, nominated by West staff members Jill Bergdorfer, Dr. Melissa Halstead, Sean Damari, Ryan Schreiner, Daniel Brazil, Sharon Smith, Devin Britton, Nicole Gomez, Charles Bells, and Kel Urban. Ms. Randall, I'm sorry, Ms. Hurley. It gives us great pleasure to be able to present this to her. These individuals have said that she has made a huge impact on her staff at West. She has gone above and beyond the call of duty with parents, students, and her staff. Mrs. Hurley is a dedicated principal to USD 500. She goes out of her way each and every day, putting every student and staff member before herself. Her unselfish manner of leadership has created a school environment that truly promotes a sense of family, love, and trust. There is not a person more deserving of this award.
It is my great pleasure to be here today celebrating Elvira Hurley. There are many words I could use to describe her. For one, she is an overcomer, adapting to the many unexpected conditions and events that come at her every day as the principal of West Middle School. She is a problem solver, always pushing herself and her staff to think deeply about what we can do to make our school and community a better and stronger place, with breakout rooms and TED Ed camps and all teacher Socratic seminars. She's an innovator who encourages her staff to step out of the classroom and engage with students and the community in events like STEAM Night, Poetry Night, the annual Chili Cook-Off, and the building of our own community garden at West Middle School. She is our matriarch, the head of our West family tribe. Anyone who comes into West Middle School has seen it. They know that West is a family who all work as one to do what's best for the students. Ms. Hurley is accessible, caring, and supportive. She wants her teachers to become leaders in KCKPS, at West, and in the community. Teachers are empowered to use data and creativity to do what's best for students. There isn't a better, more deserving person to celebrate today as our Kansas City, Kansas Public School Employee of the Month. Thank you, Elvira Hurley, for all you do.
As an English teacher, I couldn't pass up an opportunity for some creative writing, so if you don't mind, I wrote a poem about Mrs. Hurley.
Oh my.
Wisdom flows from her like ink from a fountain pen. She guards her school like she's the only mother hen, protecting her babies, both student and teacher, with more fervor than a Pentecostal preacher. I can't count the times she's put others first, nor times her kind words have made sorrows reverse. We've shared moments together, both laughing and crying. Remember that spin class that had us both dying? But what more could I ask for in a leader like this? Only more time to experience the bliss. We love you, Mrs. Hurley. It's a blessing to work with you.
Beautiful. I just want to add personally that about a couple of years ago, Elvira's student taught for me, and it's always been a pleasure. She's family. You all love her, and this is a lot when your staff comes out and they speak highly of you, and they love you, they like you. So in the words of the great Stevie Wonder, isn't she lovely? Isn't she wonderful? Life is so precious, 'cause we got Elvira. Who would have thought this would end? But you're the best that we've got, and we love you. Isn't she wonderful?
Well, I guess I'm overwhelmed. I was definitely not expecting the Employee of the Month award. And so I want to first of all thank Dr. Lane for all of your years of support of me since I've been in this position, and thank the board for allowing me to get this award on today. And to my staff, as you all know, we say this very often, and that is that it takes a village to educate our children. So I am getting this award today, but it's not just for myself, but it's on behalf of my staff as well. And I told myself I was not going to cry tonight. I love you all. I love the entire staff at West. I feel like I might be a little biased, but I have the best staff in the district, the very best. And I know that I am leaving, going to Arrowhead on next year. And I know that for some of you, you're moving on, and this is going to be a transition for all of us. But as I've said before, we are all on the potter's wheel, and that there comes a point where that wheel stops, and we know that wherever it stops is exactly where we're supposed to be. I can say that I've been at West now for 6 years. I had no plans whatsoever of going to West Middle School. My plan was to work at McKinley for Marcy Clay, and she hired me. I worked in that position for about 3 or 4 weeks, and then was asked to go to West Middle School, and I was not happy about it. But what I can say is that I've been there for 6 years, and that's exactly where the wheel stopped, and that was exactly where I was supposed to be. So thank you so much. Again, I love you all, and I'd like to have Mr. Alderman stand. Mr. Alderman has been with me for 6 years, and he's been my right hand. He's been there for me. He's been there for me to talk to confide in, to cry on his shoulder, and I just need you to know on tonight that I love you, and I appreciate you for not leaving me. And also want to recognize Stuckey. Mr. Stuckey, stand. Thank you for your support this year, and also Mr. D, our dean. Thank you, Mr. D. So the people that I brought with me today, West Middle School staff, stand up. And my best friend, Miss Taylor, is here. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Next, we have Thomas Carter and Irvin Josenberger, custodial team at Welborn Elementary, nominated by Colette Cheney, principal. She said, our custodial team at Welborn worked very hard to prepare the school for the year. They worked additional hours to organize and change the building because of the new administration. Both custodians assist with the lunch and encourage our new behaviors and expectations, and they are part of educating our students too. They will do anything you ask of them and truly care about the staff and students of Welborn.
Mr. Josenberger couldn't be here tonight, but I want you to know that these gentlemen, we came to the school, they believed in what we were asking our students to do. They help us in the lunchroom. Maybe they're doing half while we do the other half. They helped us get a little kindergartner out of the lawn who was doing a snow angel, and he became the surrogate papa for her all year long. Sorry about that. But they do more than polish the floors at Welborn. They polish our students and help them shine. And we're so thankful for you and Mr. Josenberger, Mr. Carter. Thank you.
And so I wrote a poem. I didn't. Just kidding. Not a poet. Not a poet. But Mr. Carter, if you just saw him smile, that is the smile that he greets every person when they walk into Wellborn. He has a huge smile, and that says welcome, and we appreciate that, along with all the extra things that he does in our building. Mr. Josenberger, who couldn't be here, we call him the school historian because he's been there longer than most of us there. And he prides himself in letting us know how things used to be and going forward, and we appreciate that in him. But both gentlemen have been mentors even to some young men in our building as they serve some restitution hours, and they work with these gentlemen in helping keeping the building clean. And so we really appreciate you, Mr. Carter and Mr. Josenberger, in his absence. Thank you.
That's wonderful.
On behalf of the board, we too want you to know that we really appreciate you.
Mike.
Because most of the men that we have in our district work extremely hard. They go beyond the call of duty because a lot of our young people might not have their fathers in their home. So like you and so many others, you've become their fathers, their grandfathers, their uncles, and we do appreciate what you do. He said he has a lot to say, and I'm just going to pass. No, I'm teasing. He said he didn't want to talk, but we do appreciate you. And this is to you, Mr. Carter. And this is Mr. Josenberger's award as well. And again, we can't thank you enough. If we could, we'd write you that $1 million check right now, but we're waiting. But because we don't have that, we love you and God bless you. Okay.
I did want to say that I work with a staff of 3 individuals, Corinna Tiller, and Miss Smith and Mr. Josenberger. They are the reasons that I'm standing here today. I could not do it without them. They are the reason. Thank you, Principal Cheney, Principal Bowles, for your confidence. May God bless each one of you. Thank you. Thank you to the board. I'm sorry. How about with me tonight, my wife? Would you please stand?
That was a good save. I wasn't going to say
I gotta go home tonight. My uncle and my aunt, would you please stand? Thank you. My daughter was here, but she had to leave. So just thank you all for coming out to support me, okay? Thank you.
Wow.
Amanda's going to do the next.
Next, we have the recognition of the KC Scholars. Amanda.
Good evening, board.
Good evening.
To round out the recognition tonight, I'm here to present information on our 2018 KC Scholars. Hopefully you received the packets that were put together so you have information on KC Scholars and all the opportunities they have available. KC Scholars is a scholarship and college savings program that helps low and modest income students and adult learners finance and complete a college education. KC Scholars has 3 areas that they fund. The first is the traditional scholar. Those are 11th graders. 11th graders can apply for up to $10,000 a year for up to 5 years. Students must enroll in college full-time beginning the fall semester immediately following high school graduation at one of the 17 colleges or universities in the KC Scholars post-secondary network. Annually, at least 250 of these are awarded. This year, we had an increase of 31%. So you'll see on the board, last year we had 65 traditional scholars, and this year we had 85 selected. Next is the adult learners. Adults aged 24 and above at the time of college enrollment in fall 2018 that have some college but no degree can apply for up to $5,000 a year for up to 5 years. Students can enroll in college part-time or full-time, but must start in the fall of 2018 at one of the 17 colleges or universities that partner with Casey Scholars. Annually, up to 200 of these awards will be made. So we increased by 30% this year. Last year we had 10, and this year we have 13. Finally, the college saving account and match account is for our 9th graders. High school 9th graders can apply to have a 529 college savings account seeded for them by the Casey Scholars, some of whom will be granted participation in the match program, through which they will receive a 4-to-1 match up to a maximum of $5,000 on their contributions into the 529 college savings account. Annually, a 529 college savings account will be opened for up to 500 students. Of the 500, at least 50 will be selected to be in the match and incentives program. So we saw a large spike in our 9th grade students that were selected, almost 300% increase. Last year we had 35, and this year we had 103. So of course, to invite 200 students tonight might have been a little bit much, and they were just selected last week, so we did gather photos with the help of Grace and then the college and career coordinators. They did this on short notice, so we greatly appreciate that. Here are your J.C. Harmon Casey Scholars, Washington, Schlegel, Sumner, and Wyandotte.
Wow. Okay, Wyandotte.
Thank you.
Thank you. Communications, Dr. Lane.
Ms. Jones,
Oh,
would
we
you
want
like
to
to have a couple minutes break so you can congratulate the student employees of the month? I believe they're out getting their picture taken. So.
Okay, well, let's take a 5-minute break and come back, and if we can find them, go congratulate those.
Shut itself off, or
I guess they took the students on too, huh?
The construction. That's in general.
oh boy.
I am going.
I don't know. Some of them I think went home.
The whole thing. Oh, I might even say something.
They thought it was too long, they got to Stephen. They took their pictures and left.
Okay, well, you needed a break.
Come on, yeah. Is that Doug Bach? Yeah. What's he doing here?
Probably here for the naming.
Oh, yeah. I forget about that. We do have one today.
So,
you want me to call him back?
yeah.
Thank you. And now we'll have communications by our own Dr. Lane.
Thank you, Ms. Jones. Board, what a wonderful evening.
Yes. Yes.
I want to take a moment to thank all the college and career coordinators who assist our students every day in the writing of scholarship applications. Had the privilege of reading their applications over the last many years, and I can tell you this year the strength of the writing, the stories they tell are powerful, and that shows all of our teachers working hard to strengthen our kids' ability to tell their stories. Very well done. I wanted to mention that we are getting close to upwards of $70 million in scholarships already this year, according to Mr. Marquez, who works with Ms. Chavez. Ed, wave your hand. Thank you for your work of tracking the scholarships and connecting our kids with colleges and universities. We appreciate it. This is one of the most wonderful times of the year where we celebrate our young people. Last week, John F. Kennedy Elementary School and the school district was honored by the state of Kansas as a Kansas Schools of Character. This is for their work on implementing the Character Plus curriculum. All of our counselors implement that curriculum across our elementary and middle schools under the leadership of Mrs. Garcia Stewart. So we're really excited and pleased, Ms. Stewart, with the success our schools are having, not only John F. Kennedy, but all of our schools. So thank you very much, and congratulations on receiving that recognition. Last Friday, along Dr. Strickland and many of the staff and Dr. Morrell and I gathered over at KU Medical Center. We were there to celebrate the success of our Health Science 3 students who have been attending class at the Med Center 2 days a week as part of the curriculum. I have to tell you that when Dr. Morrell began conversation with the KU staff, they were a little hesitant about having high school students on their campus of the medical center. But the students from Harmon and Schlegel who participated did us very proud. There are 45 students who have captured the hearts and minds of the staff at the medical center, and they did a tremendous job representing and learning. All of the students received their certification in CPR, so they all will have their Diploma Plus credential. And the medical center staff, including Vice Chancellor Samari, want to expand to make this opportunity available for more students. So we look forward to next year having more of our high school students taking their health classes at the medical center. That's a terrific success. We are also celebrating National Teacher Appreciation Week, and none of us can be who we are without our teachers. So please take a moment this week to thank the educators in this system, our teachers and our staff who work tirelessly every day to truly make the lives of our students better and our community better. It's also National Nurses Day tomorrow, so please take a moment to thank our school nurses for keeping us healthy and well. I can tell you when I was a teacher, I would find myself knocking on that school nurse's door from time to time, and we are grateful for what they do for our kids and for all of us. And it is also Speech Pathologist Month, actually Better Speech and Hearing Month. Who doesn't want that, right? And so our speech pathologists are reminding us that the work that they do every day with our students is critical as they help our young people with communication challenges. So it is Speech and Hearing Month, and the theme is communication for all. So we need to honor our teachers, our nurses, our speech pathologists, and we're not done yet because it is also National Police Week. So let's thank our law enforcement officers. Chief Horn, we appreciate you. Officer Singleton, we appreciate you for all you do very much. So May is a great time to celebrate each other and be grateful for all that we do in relation to each other. On Sunday, wanted to make sure the board was aware that we had 3 young playwrights featured at the Coterie Writes Project. Savon McLean for writing a piece called The Bee. It's about a spelling bee from Sumner Academy. Jaylyn Stevens wrote a piece called My Brother's Birthday from Washington High School. And Dion McLean wrote Ecliptic from Sumner Academy. So we're really proud of these young writers who are being featured in the metropolitan area for their skills. So, much success. We have graduations coming up, the superintendent's honor roll tomorrow, so if you can't be inspired by our young people during the month of May, we should have a conversation because they're doing great work. Finally, board, for you, there was a request to have a copy of the advertisement that was placed in the call regarding bidding, so you have that for your review. We have taken note of some language changes that we might want to make on our advertisement, but you also see the done advertisement that is there for you on your board docs. There was also a question about the number of long-term substitutes that we have in place. We have 34 long-term substitutes who are serving in unfilled positions at this time. And we have had or utilized 106 over the school year for extended medical leave reasons. So I believe that those are the 2 requests I was to follow up with you on today. Those are my communications.
Thank you, Dr. Lane. My communications, since our last board meeting, this being the end of the year with all the presentation and everything going on in schools, it's pretty hard to try and make them, but I make as much as possible. I went to the night of comedy that was at the up at the Zona Roast at the Comedy Playhouse. It was put on by Leadership 2020.
Leadership 2000.
2000. And it's to benefit our McKinney-Vento program. It was quite entertaining. And the Zona Rosa people up there at the Comedy Playhouse, they gave us the house they gave it to us, let them use it rent-free, and they're going to do it every year now from now on, and it will be rent-free. So I would encourage you, when you see those advertisements come up, get out there. That should be a packed house every time because it's for our babies to benefit us. Also, I attended Are You Faster Than a Fifth Grader? That was quite entertaining as usual.
Are you?
No, I'm not faster than a first grader. And parents' teachers' graduation, the Reveille dance recital, the elementary school music festival, and I went to the Washington High School seniors signing day. That was quite entertaining, and to see the number of students that had signed to go to college. It was really entertaining. And Sumner Awards program and the Migrant Recognition Night. And finally, last night I went to the F.L. Slagle Community Night and Job Fair. Wonderful turnout, and those students did an excellent job, excellent job. I was quite proud. And now I have been receiving letters from community folks, but I have one that I'd like to read. It says, Dear Board, Pedago is a fully vetted, frequently used resource that is relied upon by librarians, teachers, and students alike. It provides science, social studies, and writing resources. Though it is suggested for grades K through 3, it is frequently used by grades 4 through 5 and older students, especially with our ELL students who need content information at a reading level that is independently accessible for them. The information can be read to students modeling frequency. The categories are aligned to specific units of study in the elementary GVC guaranteed and viable curriculum. And we teachers freely allow students to use this database for research, trusting the accuracy and reliability of the information. Along with the specific content, there are simply inquiry activities and short videos aligned to the science unit of studies. We do not have another such complete resource available to our students. To quote Dr. Nguyen, my challenge is that we don't even get the crumbs from this $26,000 denial. Who loses here and who wins? It's my students who lose. Will our system use that $26,000 to provide another equally as effective resource for all students? Certainly, this money could be used to purchase materials from a vendor such as Lakeshore, but would rugs, bookshelves, or activity kits really serve the same purpose? When we step back and look at the bigger picture, realizing that it takes a good 3 to 5 years to effective systematic change, you would realize that after 3 years, our system was using Pedago and the audacity and trust. As of May 1st, that resource is gone, and 3 years' worth of work is obliterated by 5-2, seemingly, vote. The point was, the new sheriff in town can do what he wants, regardless of the benefits of my students. Please reconsider your decision and reinstate this resource for our elementary students. Teachers need this resource to use with all students. Sincerely, a concerned stakeholder. And if you want to read it, it's also on our board docs in the future. So that's something that the board should get and read. And do I have any other board reports from any other students?
I do.
Okay.
I went to the Schlegel community event last night too, and it was so impressive. The parking lot was full. The students were all participating, and when you walked in the door, the choir was singing. What a way to start a beautiful evening. And then on Saturday was the middle school trio and ensemble festival, which my granddaughter played in, but beside the point. Our kids were practicing for what they'll be doing in high school. And we had the Washington and Sumner girls played softball on Saturday afternoon. They were there all day as a tournament. I do not remember if any of our other schools were there. Those were the two I saw. The teaching fellows had a get-together for the new people that were going to be working with us next year, and I got to meet over half of them. We have a lot of males. We have a lot of excited people that want to teach our kids, and they understand that they're going to have 2 years of really hard work as they get their masters. The music festival, I went both nights this year, was really great because you see different groups of kids and different parents, but one thing they all have in common is they're excited to be there to see their kids performing. And the kids, they sit up and they shine. It is really fun to watch. And then the Sprouts. I don't know how many of you know about the preschool orchestra. We have 3- and 4-year-olds that are playing little tiny violins. And we got to go to UMKC and see them perform with their symphonic orchestra. And they look so cute in their T-shirts that had like a vest, like they were in a tuxedo printed on them. They were just darling. And the dance recital, like Ms. Jones said, there's so much going on, and we try to make as many things as we can. But it's a very uplifting month to see what our kids have accomplished over the year, and to see our graduates go off and make new memories. So go to anything that you can, please.
Anybody else?
Sure. Madam President, I had the opportunity to participate in the New Chelsea 5th grade career day, and their follow-up, well, the good thing, the exciting thing is that 2 weeks for one class, and the day before, they had visited the Capitol. So we had that experience of sharing, going to the top of the dome, and who was afraid and who was not, and I was the one afraid. So then tomorrow, Ms. Westphal has sent us out a notice that there's a follow-up of their projects about the Bill of Rights. So we have another opportunity to see their knowledge. Thank you.
And I attended the Fellows Ice Cream Social to meet the new fellows who will be going through the curriculum in order to become teachers. It was really great to meet each and every one of them, and I loved hearing their background and how they found out about the Fellows program. A lot of them heard it on the radio or word of mouth because they heard that we were in need of great teachers, and so all of them are just awesome. So I want to commend those on the Fellows Committee for putting together an awesome unit of people to help teach our students. And it was nice to see some faces that are current teachers that are some substitutes in our district wanting to be more in our district because they have that love for the children and the love that we have as a community to help further student knowledge. And I also attended a game at Sumner. It was great. It was really interesting to be outside and watch the soccer game on the benches. Really interesting. So I have some feedback for questions for Walter and Dr. Mathers about the Sumner environment. And so it'll be great for a conversation. But I hadn't visited Sumner's field in a long time, but I kept hearing community feedback. So it was nice to go out there and actually see the field for myself and get an idea of what students in the community see versus going to see it at some of the newer fields of ours. So that was really fun.
Anybody else?
I too had the opportunity to attend the FL Sligo Community Night and Job Fair. I thought the students did an excellent job in their presentations that they had lined up in the hallway, and the job fair, giving interviewing skills. But what stuck out for me was an organization called the Community Initiative, and they tried to talk to our young people, and I thought it was moving to see 2 former Sligo students who admitted that they made some very poor choices and the impact that it had on their lives, and they were willing to come back and talk to the young people, to talk to them about healthy choices, healthy living, and how we don't want them to go from high school to the prisons, and they're doing a lot of different things. And it was something that I think we need to look at. to help some of our young people, and they did a remarkable job. They were very honest, they were caring, had a lot of good information that young people need to hear and know. So I kudos to Sligo, and thank you so much for the invitation. Just wanted to say I had an opportunity to attend Are You Faster Than a Fifth Grader, and I did run on the track field at the end. And I really enjoyed being there, as well as seeing the students getting engaged and involved. I also visited West Middle School on May 1st to be able to visit the classrooms and to get an example of them learning the Marzano strategy for learning. I had an opportunity to talk to some of the 8th grade students, and just to say that that is an excellent school where they are actually pushing and encouraging the kids to be very successful with their learning.
Thank you.
Ms. Jones?
Yes.
Got one thing. Ms. Drew and I, after Faster Than a Fifth Grader, went to the Early Childhood Center with Dr. Lane.
Don't tell everything.
If you want to know, I now have a Twitter account, so find it. You'll see a picture of Dr. Lane doing the obstacle course with another teacher. The preschool class was having their own, like a mini Olympic obstacle course. And it was so cute. They were going under the table, in the tunnel, jumping, climbing over things. And they talked Dr. Lane and one of their teachers to do it with them. So, yeah, look up that Twitter and you can see a picture of her going under the table.
Okay. Mr. Brown?
I would just like to say, I'd like to acknowledge Carol Levers for the symposium that you put on for the public library. I thought it was very informative, and especially I enjoyed all of it, especially the timeline from the start of the location of the library to where it is now. We talked about and I want to also acknowledge you for soliciting some feedback from the community in terms of the development of the new library. I thought it was very informative.
Well, thank you all. See, we were all quite active this past month, and we're going to really be active now. Graduations are getting ready to start, so thank you all. Now we're ready for, we don't have any community comments, so community updates. Casino tax appeal, Doug Bach, the county commissioner.
It's actually county administrator.
Welcome.
Bach.
I'm like,
Evening, members of the board and Dr. Lane.
Good evening.
Nice to be here this evening. I'll have to say, just coming in, that you guys had a lot more fun in the first 2 hours than I ever have in any 2 hours of our commission meeting. So great to see all the talented youth we have, and great awards that you've handed out this evening. I'm here this evening with my county appraiser, Kathy Briney. So she's over here in case you guys ask me too many hard questions. I can call her up. But had the opportunity to visit with Dr. Lane, and we wanted to let you all know about what was going on with our case with Hollywood Casino. And really it's one where we've been in various forms of, I will say, litigation with them since they've opened regarding their valuation. And as this is one that affects you quite a bit, do I just control this right here on the keyboard? Okay.
Use the arrow key.
As you can see, and you're aware of that, this is the district line between USD 500 and 204 Bonner Springs. So the property on the right, which just encompasses a little bit of the parking garage and then quite a bit of the vacant land, but it's enough to make a significant impact. When Hollywood Casino initially came, or when we were going through the casino process, all the casinos came in and told us about how much money they were going to invest in our community, so we kind of set a baseline where we're at. This is the documentation that was submitted by the Innovation Group on behalf of Kansas Entertainment. And as you'll note, kind of as you move through, they were looking at building close to 400, that $1 million project. Now that included a hotel, which they haven't done yet. But in the end, if you value it back down to tax rate, they were projecting to pay a little over $9 million in taxes on an annual basis. When we went through and did our pro forma after that, we lowered that number down to around 7, assuming there would be some valuation differences would come to play with all that. The reality has been quite a bit different from that. Casino opened in February of 2012. The valuation really, as I said, they've never accepted the valuations that we put on from the county appraiser's office. It's been one where we've gone through, we've set a value on their property, and then we've had to work back and forth with them. In 2013, we did a settlement value with them for the years 2010 through 2014, and ultimately these are the numbers we realized at that time, where we had a vacant land of $48 million. They'd used credit when they put in for their casino that they were going to spend $100 million on the ground. So that was lowered significantly from that standpoint. And then we're at 58.3, and then we had an average value of the years 12 through 14 of $140 million, and you'll see that number shows 172 in 2012. That's because they paid at what we had them assessed at for appraised at for $172 million. And then we lowered it for the next 2 years in that settlement. That way the taxing jurisdictions didn't have to refund money back on based on what was paid. We just had paid out lower amounts in the next year based on that valuation. So that moves us forward to where we are today, or at least in 2015. And that's the current tax year that we're dealing with through Board of Tax Appeals and the Court of Tax Appeals. We valued them at $157 million for that year. And I will say Kathy Briney has a very talented team, but we also take with them to go out and we hire an outside appraiser that specializes in casinos, a lot of expertise in this area to assist us as we go through this. And then when we go through the legal process, we bring in an outside attorney to assist with it as well, because it's really a high number issue. And it's a very unique type of property, so we bring in someone to help us with that. Well, we submitted them at $157 million. They submitted a value that they thought their property was only worth $68,600,000. As you recall, this is significantly below what would have been recorded for the initial property value, but just about $20 million over what we had realized and valued the property at in 2010. So that was disappointing for us to see, and one where our governing body looked at it and said, that's unacceptable, we're not going to accept that value as we were going through it, and decided we would go ahead and follow litigation and take this all the way through the process. Ultimately, the Board of Tax Appeals, or BOTA, determined that their value of their casino was worth $102 million. We still think that is far below what it should be, where it's at. So we are currently pending a hearing with the Court of Tax Appeals. The $55 million difference in valuation from that 157 down to the 102 is worth $2.5 million on that year for our county. So that stretches across all the different taxing jurisdictions. And that's really what we wanted to come out and explain to you how that's all fallen into play. The subsequent years from that, 2016, 17, and 18, you can see the values we put on there. We've stayed consistent in our valuation. We haven't looked at it and said, well, BOTA put this as 102. We can't follow their methodology to get to that low of a number. They don't use a consistent methodology in what they state and what they lay out for us. They grab from different equations and put them out there, so we have to use what is true appraisal methodology, and I could let Kathy go into that for some time, but we feel very confident in the methodology that's used, and that's why we continue to come up with these values. Those three cases are all stayed until we get done with 2015. BOTA's not going to move forward and hear that until they get done with that piece of it, and then we'll go back and move through each one of those years, year by year. Just to kind of underline what the negative impact is to the taxing jurisdictions that come back for the tax year 2015, and which will likely impact the tax year 2019. And I say that because if we have to do the refund, that's when we'd come back and make the payment in your next calendar year as we go through this process. So you can see the numbers broke out. I've highlighted USD 500, which is about $240,000, which would be the impact on your allocation from this. Obviously, as you can see on the list, the largest one impacted is our USD 204 Bonner Springs is the largest portion of it sits in their district. Had the pleasure of presenting to their board last night, and that's a pretty significant portion of what their tax base is as well. So the cumulative value of this, if all the cases fall in at this $102 million value for 2015 through 2018, is $10.8 million for our county. So that has a large negative impact. As you can see, that would affect your school district by, between the district and the library, of about $1 million. We're hoping never to be in a situation where we'd have to refund all of that at one time, but that is where it would end up if BOTA stays in the ruling of what they're doing today. You'll also note, and I'd showed those figures on the other slide, that since they paid the taxes, they pay them on time. They're good about that. We also have to pay interest back to them, and so it'll be that 10.8 plus 2% interest. To run down how the process works from here, taxpayer can appeal the decision to BOTA, so we set the value. The taxpayer of the county, after the hearings are done, if they disagree, then we go to BOTA. That's what happened. Briefs are filed, and we're now looking at going to Court of Tax Appeals, and those briefs will be in place somewhere at the end of this year, so we anticipate either the end of 2018 or early 19 before we get a decision back from COTA. That's why I said that any impact on us would be in 2019 before that would come back. Recently, the Court of Tax Appeals has indicated deference toward BOTA, so that doesn't weigh heavy in our favor. However, we do feel we have a fairly good chance at appeal because through this process they've used mixed methodologies, as I pointed out earlier, in the type of appraisal systems they've used. It's interesting that the value of our casino just happens to be valued at the same value that the casino south of Wichita is. If you're ever in that area, you can look in and see and compare the two. We have I would say a much higher value casino just from what we have on tape, but I think there are other reasons that come into that play as well. If we have a successful appeal, it doesn't mean that the Court of Tax Appeals is going to come to it and say, oh, you're at 157 million, we think we'll raise you up to 157. Likely, if they said it's favorable for us to be, that they find some differences between what was done at BOTA, they'll just rule it back to BOTA and have them work the case again and say, look at your methodology difference and such like that. So we won't get a number from the Court of Tax Appeals. We'll just go back before BOTA and probably have another hearing, or they could say everything was fine and we don't get anything or any change from there. I added the last line up there just to show we are spending a fair amount of money on this. It's the county's responsibility, and so as obviously often get to break out difference between what's a unified government. We consolidate a lot of things, but there are some services we do that are city, some services are county, they stay that way. Appraisal and where that lands is solely within that of the county operation, and we've spent about $240,000 on this case trying to defend it. So it's gone on for a number of years. It's an expensive proposition, though just what we preserved by staying at 102 million versus falling back to 68, is a $34 million difference in value, or 1.3 million in taxes for our community, and that's an ongoing annual basis. So in sitting down with the Board of Commissioners, they have taken the position that we're going to continue to fight this and do for what we believe is the right value for that casino, and we will spend the money we need to in order to defend it the best we can. Just put this up there as our appraiser's mission statement as we look at how to provide fair and uniform tax rates. And I would certainly stand for any questions that any of you may have. I saw some good looks on your face as I went through all this process, and I will say it's been very equally frustrating on a part of all our staff and that of our governing body as we've dealt with it for years, because it certainly has been, it's just hard to quite justify such a significant facility that's been built and has hundreds of millions of dollars in it to be valued at such, or even to have someone come in and say it's worth only $68 million.
Yeah.
Normally, how long does it take? You said maybe by 2018 or 2019, the 2015 case might be resolved. Normally, what's the time span?
Oh, I would say we probably get most of them. I mean, many things are resolved far before they get to that point. If we go through the full legal process, you know, you're a year, year and a half. Kathy, I don't know if you...
Right now, we have a lot of voter cases.
You can come over here so they can hear you on the microphone.
That's fine. I'm Kathy Briney, the county appraiser. Right now, we have a lot of cases pending at the Board of Tax Appeals already. This is the only case right now that we have at the Court of Appeals, and but we have anywhere from, you know, probably 2016 forward. It usually takes a good year and a half to 2 years, as he says. This one has taken longer. I'm not sure. It seems like we get a brief filed, but they use extensions, and it's been going on for quite some time. So hopefully, we're hoping that by the end of 2018 to 2019.
Maybe just to ad lib on that a little bit, the Board of Tax Appeals is very forgiving to the litigator for them, and how they come up and let them file briefs late and let it delay it and delay it, and it's frustrating on our part.
So if you win, do they cover your litigation costs?
If we were to win, now, win on my part would be to go back and get a BOTA ruling that said $157 million.
Okay.
That's worth $2.5 million or $2.8 million, and that's an every year impact. So it far and away covers our cost. I mean, it makes a huge difference on every taxing jurisdiction, and then, you know, we get about 48% of the tax dollars comes back, divided up between the city and the county. So the cost-benefit analysis on this, if we're successful, is great. I mean, I can already say, as I showed in the one slide, technically we've probably already won because we're above where we would be if we would have just accepted a $68 million loss, and that would have been a $1.3 million loss.
Dr. Nguyen.
Thank you. And as follow-up somewhat on that, whenever they rule, you said it probably go back to BOTA. Do you get in line? Do you go to the top of the pile, or what?
You basically get back in line.
Where you were?
Well, as I say, they do have, they try to docket them within a certain time period, but they can ask for continuances. That's what we've had, is continuances as such. And the problem with that is because of the interest that has to be paid back is significant. So it's 2% up through 2016, and it starts at 3% in 2017. So it gets, you know, they've upped that amount, but it can get. One thing that he did, I think it's in that slide you can see as well, when we go back, but there's where we could go to, if they don't rule in our favor, the Court of Appeals or the Board of Tax Appeals, they can actually, the taxpayer can actually go to the district court level, but we don't have that option. We have just kind of we get remanded back to the Board of Tax Appeals, and it's like a vicious cycle.
So what you are waiting for ruling is on 2015.
Yes.
And they are paying 16, 17, 18 based on the 166?
Yes.
But are they, and they are appealing 16, 17, and 18 as well?
Yes.
So this could go on an annual basis, because right now they have 3 appeals in line.
Right.
4 appeals.
Wow, they have 4 total.
Counting 15.
No,
but they are paying full amount.
They are.
Okay.
And that's why I started by pointing out how we ended up settling back on the early years. I mean, they've never agreed to a tax value amount, so we settled in the first years. Back then, it was a little bit different process. We settled in 13, and you could agree to the coming year. The law changed on that. I don't think we can do that the same, so we couldn't ultimately settle out. But at least at that time when we elected to settle, we thought the average value was within a range that was worth going to. As I went through this with the governing body, we looked at this and said, this is just too far away that we could accept a value to say that casino's only worth $100 million. And that's a decision that we're just, I guess, if the court ultimately says that's what it's valued at, then that's what we live with. But we'll be back the next year, and we will continue in that cycle because we believe it is worth a lot more than that. The casino has done well out there. They've continued to be able to increase their market share in the Kansas City Metro, which is great. That's good for all of us from the taxing any perspective. We're proud of them from that perspective. We just don't agree from this perspective.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else?
I have a question. I'm looking at the 2013 value settlement for vacant land only at $48,000. $48,000, right?
Million.
$48 million. And so then you look at in just what 5 years the value, and that $48 million is based on unimproved property, pretty much. And in 2015, the value is only $28 million more. Is that it? Pretty much?
That's what their appraiser came back and said.
Okay, so I can understand why you would be concerned about that.
Yeah.
You know, because if that is the improved value at $68 million, then that is a major concern.
Yes. There is no valuation methodology that this woman next to me can go through and turn it in and say, gosh, it's only worth $68 million. She, you know, very principled in her work and bring in an expertise in how they do it. And your statement is right on line with how I would look at it if she actually walked in and said this is what they were valuing it at. It's hard to believe, especially when we started out that they listed the value of the unimproved property at $100 million.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Mr. Bach. We appreciate you coming. Just that you keep us updated when possible.
We'll do that. And if you have any questions along the line, you can pass them on to us directly or through Dr. Lane, and we'll do what we can to answer for you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming tonight.
Next, we have our legislative update. David Smith, Public Chief Affairs Officer.
Wow. I'm not usually someone to stand up and rail against Hollywood, but in this case.
Yeah, this is. You lost his job.
So the last time I spoke to you, Board, and good evening.
Good evening.
The last time I spoke to you was before the wrap-up session of the legislature, and I told you the legislature essentially had two very important tasks with regard to us and our work. One of those was to fix a mistake that was in the original school finance bill that was passed that cost districts around the state $80 million. And the second was to avoid emptying state coffers so that should the Supreme Court rule that the bill was not enough, there would be resources available for the legislature to respond to the court's ruling. The session ended last Friday evening. Unlike most years, sine die was the last day of the wrap-up session. So at midnight, everything was done. The legislature, both houses, very quickly last week passed a bill that fixed the mistake that was made. There was some grumbling, but I think there was a pretty substantial majority of both houses who felt that it was a mistake that needed to be fixed, and so that passed with relative ease and was signed by the governor. With regard to emptying the state coffers, there was an attempt made. The Senate passed a bill that would have given in various kinds of tax breaks, about $500 million of state money would have been reduced. Some of that would have been to respond to the federal tax changes, but there was a lot of other stuff in there that felt to many people like corporate tax giveaways, the very things that got us into this fiscal hole that we've been trying slowly to dig ourselves out of. So while that passed the Senate, the House stood firm, and that did not pass the legislature, and I think there are a lot of us who are very grateful about that. So the special session is over. On Monday at noon, the state and the plaintiffs, which include us for Schools for Fair Funding, had briefs that were due at the Supreme Court. So those are in, and those are available on the KSB website if you really want some detailed reading. The Supreme Court hearing will be on the 22nd of May at 9 a.m. in Topeka. So that'll probably be about a 2.5-hour hearing in which both sides will get a chance to argue their briefs. So we're obviously very much looking forward to that. The plaintiffs and the Schools for Fair Funding obviously is going to argue both that what they did, while meaningful, was not adequate, and that they still didn't fix all of the equity violations that are in the law. The one that's still there relates to requiring a petition and possible election for certain districts, but districts that have already passed or raised their LOB wouldn't have to go through that, and that's an equity violation. So look forward to the hearing. Again, just to remind you, we expect some kind of response from the court in early to mid-June. There still remains the potential for a special session, which would be probably take place in late June. And if the court rules that either the equity or adequacy violations are such that it remains unconstitutional, then we would still be at risk of not being able to have a functional school finance system come July 1. So obviously, as a district, we're paying attention to that, and we are kind of revitalizing our planning for that potential possibility. So that's the bill, and then the court case. The other thing I wanted to share with you that is in substitute for Senate Bill 423 is the mental health intervention team pilot program, which we were included in. To remind you, it's a one-year pilot. Its money is going to flow through the district, and the legislature did that so that they would be able to count all of the money as state funding for public schools. Most of it will flow through and then go back. One bucket will come to the district for hiring behavioral health school liaisons. Another will come through us and go right back to, or actually will go back to Department of Aging and Disability Services for a computerized program that will be used to track progress on this. So that money will just go in and out. And then a third we would use to contract with our local community mental health center in order to provide therapy support for students both in the foster care system as well as other students. So we're still learning about it. There are going to be a couple of memorandums of understanding, one with the Department of Education, another with PACES with our Community Mental Health Center. Octavio Estrella, there he is. He's going to be our district point of contact, so he'll be working very closely with them. And we're going to learn a lot. There's going to be some significant tracking of outcomes, because this is a pilot program, and Representative Landwehr, who developed it, has interest in spreading it statewide. To do that, it'll be necessary to show outcomes. So we're working on developing a list of potential outcomes that we can track. So we'll be responsible for that.
Questions?
So that's where we are. Questions?
No questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And now we have our library report from our own Carol Liebers, our director. Thank you.
Evening, Mrs. Jones, Board, Dr. Lane.
Good evening.
In front of you, I've left a book.
Yes.
By James Weldon Johnson, God's Trombones. It's an exemplary collection of inspirational verse, features 7 sermons of African American preachers reimagined as poetry, reverberating both the musicality and splendid eloquence of the spirituals on which they were based. We handed these out at the night at the Savoy, and there were a few left over, and I thought who best to give it to but the board. So
thank you.
Enjoy. Not gonna too long. This last month, just to give you an update on the West Library, we gave you the before and the after appearance of the West Library. I want, before I get there, it was a couple of months. Staff had to work around this, and patrons were really patient. We really appreciate them. They knew, something better was coming, so they didn't complain much. We did have a soft opening, and appreciate Mrs. Jones and Dr. Lane, as well as Dr. Mather, for attending. We also had Brian Draper from the shop there. Both Mrs. Jones, who's the president of the board, and the president of the Kansas City, Kansas Public Library Foundation, Ms. Rosalind Brown, were there cutting the ribbon. So everybody was excited, and we just hear positive things, both from kids and adults as well. This is what it looks like from the new circulation desk. And if you have time, please do go and visit the West Wyandotte Library. You'll be surprised. Everybody comes in and says, it's so big. We haven't done anything to make it big. It's still the same, but it's just the renovations make it look much bigger.
Sure
so
did.
Thank you for your support. The libraries will be taking part in PBS's Great Read or Great American Read in the summer. We're going to use that, but also change it a little bit and we'll host our own Great Waiko Read. So we will find Waiko's favorite book during the summer, and then we'll have whatever the best book is or the favorite book, somebody will win that. So you can go to our website and find a link to that if you want to read more of the Great American Read for the summer. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Reports of the superintendent. Dr. Lane.
Thank you very much, Ms. Jones. Board, we're ready for item A, and we ask that you approve the name for the new school replacing Bethel and White Church Elementary Schools as submitted by Dr. Mather.
Good evening, Board. Dr. Lane.
Good evening.
I always like to make comments. It's so exciting on the evening of all of the student recognitions and all the adult recognitions, and then all of a sudden, kind of the temperament change. We start talking about school finance, so I'm not so sure. But I'm not here to talk about school finance, so I'm excited about that. I am here to talk to you about another exciting piece, and that's the naming of one of the new elementary schools for one project of the 80 discrete projects in the bond referendum. I know my committee members, many of them have been very patient and been supporting all of the student recognitions and are here, so I will try to set the stage a little bit for all of you, because we have actually put before you, as I shared with the committee, an awesome and important task of making a decision this evening about the name for the new elementary school. So this elementary school is the combination of White Church Bethel. Will be located at on 91st and Parallel, between Parallel and Georgia. So as a result of it, we enforced your FC naming of facilities policy, and we put together a committee. Our committee, I could read you all the names, but it is on your board agenda item, so you can see them. But there are 20 people on this committee, and it was an awesome committee. We had myself and Mark Stubelo facilitating it. We had 2 members, Ms. Brenda C. Jones, and Dr. Yeager were the board representatives on this committee. We had both principals, one from each of the schools, 4 teachers, 6 parents, and 4 community members. Really nice representation on this community and a lot of good conversation. We met on 3 different occasions. We had very deliberate, I think, honest and transparent conversations, which was really important. We talked about the need to provide recommendation to the Board of Education for a name. We talked also about the mascot and the potential for school colors, which I'll give you a brief update in a moment about that. So the committee first started by generating a significant list of names. I think it was about 12 or 15, 16, 20, I don't know, names on flip chart paper. We narrowed that down to 5 names, and those 5 names were moved and forwarded to a community-wide survey that the assistance of Melissa Bedford-Fears helped us create a survey. She put it out on Facebook. I always have to look here because it had over a reach of 10,000. I always want to say touches, but it's not. It's a reach of 10,000 on Facebook. We had 1,981 respondents on the survey, so I thought that was really nice. The results of the survey also were well representative of our entire community. We had 15.6% parents respond to the survey, 8% students, 46% staff, and another 30% that identified themselves as community members. So between the community members and the parents, it's about 46%, and 46% of staff, and then 8% of our kids. So it's exciting to see that. The survey results, you have all of the survey results, and it did come out with, of the 5, Bernie Elementary as the top go-getter at 34.23%, and the committee is recommending a second choice of Legacy Elementary for the board's consideration tonight, which was also part of the top 5 results, and you can see that there in the survey. You also have in your board docs, just for your reference, we have put on the survey when we do the naming committee other, so I think there's 3 pages or 4 pages of other suggestions, and all I'll say is it's a wide variety of things, but we appreciate the comments and the time that folks took to actually complete the survey. So although the survey respondents did clearly support the name Bruni Elementary, as I stated, the committee had very strong and very open and transparent conversation, wanted to present to the board 2 names, the second one being Legacy Elementary. And 2 of the committee members volunteered to come before you this evening, and I know Ms. Davis has to leave very shortly, so I'm going to hurry and get to you, Kayla. And Ms. Emily Dennis are both going to share to you very briefly about why each of those 2 names were discussed as part of our committee. It's not their job to convince you of either one. That will be the decision of the board, but at least give you some insight from their perspective and not mine about why those 2 names were selected. So I don't know who wants to go first, Emily or Kayla, because you've got to leave. So Ms. Davis has been patient, and she's got some PTA responsibilities, teacher appreciation. So Ms. Davis is a PTA president associated with Bethel Elementary.
Good evening, board. So Legacy is the name that I'm chosen. Basically kind of going off of the definition as far as something that happens or exists as a result of something that happened at an earlier point in time. With that being said, we want our babies, kiddos, I call them babies, from White Church and Bethel to combine to build off of the different legacies in both Bethel and White Church and combine them to start their own footprints of their own legacy in the future. This is something that impacts our babies a lot. So, 20 years down the road, we would like for them to feel like they have put a footprint into Kansas City, Kansas, Wyandotte County, as well as that particular school.
Thank you. And then Miss Emily Dennis, teacher at White Church Elementary, also serving on the committee, is going to give you a brief update, a little bit longer because it is a name of a person, so we presented to you in your packet a little bit longer bio. Whereas Legacy is not a name of a person, but just the name of a potential school. Before Ms. Dennis actually starts, we have committee members here, so if you could all stand that are here and been so patient. This is not all 20 of us, but it's a lot of us, so. I would be remiss if I didn't constantly say thank you, thank you, thank you. These guys work so hard, so sorry, Emily, go ahead.
Thank you.
I'm just going to read, I kind of took what we already had given you and made it Cliff Note version. So, Mr. Lowell W. Bruni was born on September 1st, 1930 in Kansas City, Kansas, to Elmer and Mabel Bruni. A lifelong resident of KCK, he attended White Church Elementary from kindergarten through 8th grade and graduated from Washington High School 4 years later. He married Anna Lou Hollander in 1949, and together they raised 5 girls, all of whom attended and graduated from Kansas City, Kansas public schools. The idea of naming this new elementary school in honor of Mr. Bruni came about because of his active support of and dedication to this community. Some of his contributions were organizing some competitive girls softball opportunities and getting lights donated for the ball fields at Bethel so the kids could play in what would become the Wyandotte County Sports Association. He was one of WICO's first officers. Volunteering as a coach for junior bowling for 30 years and girls softball for nearly 20 years, tirelessly supporting KCK youth in their activities and impacting hundreds of children each year. Serving on a committee with Superintendent O.L. Plucker of USD 500 and helping consolidate the Washington High School District with USD 500 in 1967. With all 5 of his children attending Bethel, Mr. and Mrs. Bruni were PTA members there and supported the school's various activities for 20 years. In his retirement years, Mr. Bruni volunteered his time at White Church by forming Mr. Bruni's Lunch Bunch. He came faithfully once a week for over a decade, even after his grandchildren had moved on to different schools to mentor students. Every week he would tell the students how lucky they were to have the opportunities to learn and be in school. He didn't want them to take any of it for granted and tried his best to share his enthusiasm for learning. Mr. Bruni was named to the USD 500 Reasons to Believe Honor Roll in 2011. The reality of Lowell Bruni's life was that he spent all of it teaching children. His contributions to USD 500 are hard to truly measure, but what is known is he was dedicated to the White Church Bethel area and to the education of the children involved in both schools for decades. Thank you.
Thank you both. Ms. Davis left because she had to move on. Okay, so we gave you some information, we hope in advance. We tried to give as much information regarding the 2 suggestions that the committee is forwarding. We know this is a significant task before the Board of Education. We are asking that you make a decision this evening regarding either Bruni Elementary or Legacy Elementary. So with that, we will turn it over to the expertise of all of you, unless either of the board members would like to say anything about their involvement in the committee.
No, I think the committee spoke well. Everybody voiced their opinions quite well, and you have before you the choices, and it's up to us to decide.
I have a question. Did you mention what the mascot was going to be?
Thank you for reminding me. The committee, after getting the results of the survey and deciding to put forth 2 recommendations to the board, they decided that they would come back together and have input from the students regarding the mascot once the name was decided this evening. What they will do, Ms. Davis, who is here, the PTA president, has volunteered to go to both schools and go to each classroom and have pictures of 5 or 6 different mascots, depending on the name that's selected, and allow students to choose that. Both of the committee members very quickly wanted to honor, obviously, both Bethel Elementary and White Church Elementary. They both share the same colors in blue and white currently, so they decided to keep blue and white as the colors for their new school. So it really brings a unifying of the 2 schools together. So the mascot is to be determined by the students once the name is decided.
What are the mascots of the current schools?
Is this a quiz?
Because the reason why...
Wildcats and Bulldogs.
Okay, the reason why I asked is when you said you'd have 5 or 6 selections, would those choices be as a part of that?
Yeah, they actually came up with a list, and I do think I have those with me. Let me check, if you give me just a minute, see if I can find them. They also brainstormed a whole list of potential mascots. They're not landing on any of them because they do want students to be able to vote. But the list they came up with were bears, lions, tigers, cheetahs, pioneers, timberwolves, stars, cubs, volunteers, comets, and the top selections that they believe they're going to put before students at this point, depending again on the name selection, from that list is cubs, pioneers, timberwolves, comets, stars, and of course other, because students may come up with some.
Okay. Any other questions? So we have before us 2 choices. First choice. Legacy.
We just raise our hand for which one we want to vote for? Or say, oh.
You want to write it down? How should we do it?
You want to do it?
You need a motion.
You could either do it by motion or you could do it by vote, however you choose to do so.
What's the pleasure of the board?
By vote.
You want to just vote?
Yeah.
Okay. All those in favor of Legacy Elementary?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. All those in favor of, did you get that?
Brunei.
Susan?
Brunei.
Huh?
Rooney.
Bruni. Aye. Look like it would be Lowell Bruni Elementary School. Thank you.
Again, Board, please acknowledge the committee, excuse me, the committee and all of their hard work. And I should say that the committee talked about it. They would be supportive of either one of the two names. So thank you very much. We know it's a difficult task, and these guys worked hard. And so thank you all again very, very much.
Well, let's see. Well, it's you, Doctor. We'll wait till they do. It's quite proud.
Just want to let the significance of that moment just be with us. Excellent.
Wow.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mather, and to your committee. Board, now we're ready for item B, and we ask that you accept as an informational item a report on the 2018 summer school programs as submitted by Dr. Strickland, Mrs. Clay, and Mr. Garrison.
Good evening, Board.
Good evening.
I'd like to invite to the podium Mr. Garrison. Mr. Garrison is a leader within the system who has a responsibility, one of many responsibilities, of coordinating all of our summer programs annually. This year it was a little more unique than usual because of many of our construction projects. So he has had to work very diligently with our construction team, be that Mark Stubelo and many others, to kind of work in conjunction with and work around making sure that we had summer programs in place to service many of the needs of our students this summer. So with that, Mr. Garrison.
Good evening, Board.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Dr. Lane.
Good evening.
Okay, summer school for high school is planned to be at Washington High School, and our feeder schools will be Schlegel, Harmon, and Wyandotte. We're starting on June 4th through June 28th and run Monday through Thursdays only from 7:30 to 12:30. And the funding source will be summer school fees collected by students at $100 per student and some general fund money. The enrollment criteria is credit recovery. At our middle school level, we have West Middle School. Feeder schools will be Arrowhead, Coronado, Eisenhower, the Gear Up program, and Ivy and Ailey. And they would run from June 4th also to June 28th. Northwest Middle School, Central Middle School, Argentine Middle School would also be in session. And the summer program would start June 4th to June 29th. And the summer school would run from Monday through Thursdays only from 8 to 1 o'clock. Funding source would be comprehensive funds. The enrollment criteria, again, is credit recovery and academic enrichment for our 6th and 7th graders who would be working with the Gear Up program in the afternoons. The elementary level, we have various start and end dates. Bethel would run from June 11th to June 29th, Monday through Friday. JFK will run May 30th through June 12th, Monday through Friday. White Church, May 29th to June 15th, Monday through Friday. Mark Twain will run on Wednesdays only, 6th, 13th to 20th, 27th, and July 11th, 18th, and 25th. Carruthers will run from May 29th to June 28th for Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays. Grant will be located at Banneker for summer school. It would run from June 4th to June 28th, Monday through Thursdays. New Chelsea, May 29th to June 8th, Monday through Friday, and July 23rd through August 3rd for our incoming kindergartners. Quindale will run from June 4th through June 15th, Monday through Friday. Welborn at West Branch Library will run from June 5th to July 5th, closed on July 4th. Emerson would run from June 4th through June 29th, Monday through Friday. Emmy Pearson will run from June 4th through June 29th for ESL Migrant and the Kids Zone program. Hazel Grove for special ed would run from June 4th to June 28th. And Quindale, Stony North, T.A. Edison, and Francis Willard will be our comprehensive summer intervention program will run from June 4th to June 28th. And the criteria is working with our 2nd through 5th graders. Okay. And the programs will run from 8 o'clock to 1 o'clock. Okay. Any questions?
For the high schoolers who, I thought I saw it said $100 fee. If a child had a hardship but had the need to be there, is there some grant or something they can apply for some assistance?
We work with them on payments if they can. If they're indigent, we cover that cost. We do have some McKinney-Vento students that would be in that category.
Okay. What's the content of your summer intervention program?
Okay. Want to talk about summer intervention?
What is the content of summer intervention?
Reading and math, and we're focusing on a certain group of students who are 2 reading levels below their grade level, and a certain window in the MAP scores for mathematics.
Or 2 years below.
Or 2 years below grade level.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
So just as follow-up, the 2 years, but if they're 3 and 4, they're included? I mean, is it just 2 years below?
No, and the reason is we had to limit it to a certain number of students. We only have 4 schools where we are running the intervention program, and we only have 4 weeks, which is actually 16 days. So we had to decide what is the group of students where we can impact the most in such a short amount of time and with the resources we have. So rather than have everyone who's below grade level, we decided on a narrower group of students, and that's why we went with 2 years below.
So here's a hypothetical question. This is probably for you, Dr. Lane, and it's really hypothetical. If we were to get a windfall of revenue, would there be building capacity, teaching capacity to go back and pick up those students who are more than 2 years below grade level?
And let me correct myself, it's 2 or more, I'm sorry. Where we have the limit is on the score, on the window of score. But it's 2 or more grade levels below.
So any student 2 or more grade levels below qualifies?
Yes. Correct.
Okay.
But there's still a capacity.
Yes,
yeah.
Of course.
You know, can the legislative body turn around that windfall in a time for us to use it? That would be the answer. But certainly, once funding is in place, I think this body, working with its administrative team, would need to think about some additional intervention systems throughout the year for our young people, so that we have the ability to extend the school year or to provide additional information during the school day. That would be most promising for our kids.
Thank you.
Will transportation be provided?
Yes, for the intervention program. And middle and high school.
Okay.
Ms. Jones?
Any other question? No.
All right. Thank you all very much. Mr. Garrison, we appreciate that you still smile even as you plan all of this activity, so thank you.
Thank you.
Board, we now ask that you accept an update on the Diploma Plus College and Career Academies and internships as submitted by Dr. Strickland.
Good evening again, Board.
Good evening.
I would like to invite to the podium a very star team of people that work very hard to ensure that our work is touching the students in an appropriate way and moving the Diploma Plus program forward. Just to give you and remind you of some background about the academies and put it in context of our work. Diploma Plus are our outcomes. That's what we want to ensure, and that's our promise to our community and our students, that you will graduate with more than a high school diploma. Research says you need more than a high school diploma. And so one method that supports us ensuring that our students graduate with more than that high school diploma is our academies. So we're organizing our academies at the high school level, and academies are at the high school level, and you will have some information shared with you about what those particular academies are. But think of academies in which the structure and how we organize our high schools. College and career academies. Academies are theme-based, based upon certain industries, and so within those academies is kind of where all the magic happens, where all the work happens. That's where we do the teaching. We teach them under those themes, all with the intent that they graduate Diploma Plus. They graduate with more than their high school diploma. So this update today is giving you an update on how those structures are moving and coming to be within our high schools, particularly for this upcoming year. So with that, I will pass it to Ms. Sarah Ryder, our Diploma Plus Director. Ms. Ryder.
Thank you. Good evening, Dr. Lane and members of the board. Good evening. Good evening. I'm excited to share with you updates of our Diploma Plus Academy work. I wanted to first start out with just a little bit of background for you about the Diploma Plus implementation. We started Diploma Plus implementation with a cohort class of 6th graders in the 2014-2015 school year. And that class is currently freshmen this school year. And so our first Diploma Plus class will graduate in 2021. And we have been working very diligently to prepare for them as they approach that year. Some of the preparation for our students as they go through the middle school level, they have many career exploration opportunities, college visits, and also opportunities for industry-informed instruction. That's where our teachers are able to partner and work with our business partners to bring relevance and rigor to their units of study. In addition, this year we also at the EC5 level have what we call stepping stones to Diploma Plus. And one of the primary components currently at that level is student-led conferences. It's really given our students a chance to shine at the conferences. They share with their parents and their teacher what they've learned, their strengths, and their interests. So that's a little bit about how we're building and preparing our students for Diploma Plus academies. Excuse me. I also wanted to share with you just some key features of what makes up a college and career academy. And there's 3 primary components. The first is just that students are organized into smaller learning communities. This provides them more personalized learning. It helps build relationships so students know all their teachers, teachers know students well, and really aligns with our district priorities. The second component is that it provides both a college prep curriculum, but one that's based on the career theme of the academy. So for example, we have health science academies, and in that example, we may have an English teacher in a health science academy who's supporting students in writing up their lab reports or possibly presenting on their research findings. So those are just some examples of how we're incorporating theme into the classroom. And the last critical component is the partnerships that we build with both businesses and community as well as post-secondary partners. I just included here a little bit of research of the impact of college and career academies. While students are in high school, we will see reduced dropout rates, attendance will increase, they will increase the number of credits that they earn, and they're also more engaged in school. In addition, students that are in college and career academies are more likely to attend post-secondary and to also complete a bachelor's degree. And one study even tracked students who were part of a college and career academy 8 years after they left high school and was able to indicate significant growth in their average monthly earnings, which is exciting for our students. Now just a little bit about how the Diploma Plus academies were formed, how we made decisions about what types of career clusters and themes we would use in each of our high schools. We worked with critical partnerships, KC Rising, the Wyandotte Economic Development Council, etc., to look at workforce needs, not just current, but up to 10 years in the future, so that we were planning not for the here and now, but what our students will face once they enter the workforce. And then from there, we did some alignment with our state career and technical education career clusters to shape those academy themes. Now, in your Diploma Plus folders that you have in front of you, you will see what we refer to as rack cards. And I'll give a shout out to our communications department and Mike Keener, who developed the logo for Diploma Plus Academies, which we love, and also those were developed by him, so we appreciate that. On those rack cards, you can get a sense for each of the high schools, the academy theme, as well as the pathways that are being offered. I also wanted to provide you with some data of some of our Diploma Plus endorsements from the current year. There's a data sheet also included in your Diploma Plus folder with a little bit more detail. But essentially, we had this year 35 students complete internships, 80 complete job shadows, and we've got 171 certifications projected for our students, which is exciting. Okay, so we have guests here from Washington High School to share a little more detail about what these academies look like in action. I'm going to first introduce Tiffany Dixon, who is the lead college and career coordinator for Washington High School, and she's going to share a little bit about the work she does in supporting teachers in academy preparation.
Thank you. Good evening, Board, Dr. Lane. It is great to be here to provide a more formal update on the progress that's being made at Washington High School. We've had some various conversations, but now just briefly wanted to talk about the work that's being done. It's amazing hard work that is right here on the front lines. It's supported by our administrators. So we started out our school year, and well, actually it was before this school year. We went on trips, we looked at different models that existed in other school districts around the country, and we're empowered to see the vision for what career academies can really be. And then we started out this school year knowing that we had to work as a team. This is a whole new way of looking at all of our work as instructional coaches, our new facilitator on staff. We have my role as a lead college and career coordinator. So we spent the first part of the school year coming together to talk about how our roles would change to be more team-oriented so that every position in our school could incorporate career-based themes and content across the curriculum. So then we knew that we had to have time to get our teachers ready. So we created a strategy to get all of our teachers out of the building for an entire school day in academy teams to learn about their content, how that overlaps with the curriculum and their pathways, what the academies are, because we have teachers who have never taught in that type of environment. So we really wanted to set a strong foundation for wall-to-wall change in our building next school year. And we couldn't have done it without the support of our administration. Dr. Paul has been amazing and just empowering us to do what we need to do to help our students prepare so they can understand which academies they're in, We knew that students couldn't tell you at the beginning of the school year which one they were in. They were still kind of questioning it. And now we are confident that we've set a strong foundation. And just to kind of take us forward in talking about the strong partnerships that we've developed this school year with employers, Mrs. Matoyer is here to talk about that.
Thank you, Ms. Dixon. Good evening, Dr. Lane and board. Good evening. Sometimes the thing that our students need most has nothing to do with the lesson plans, but merely building relationships. A foundation to a stable and strong college and career academy structure is all about building relationships. I had the privilege this year of attending numerous meetings, attending networking events, association events, to develop strategic partnerships with those in our community. Last but not least, as Ms. Dixon stated, we develop relationships with each other in the building. Dr. Scrutta, Dr. Wright, Ms. Dixon, and myself, we have had phone calls and texts in the early morning, late at night, on the weekend, whenever, because we want to make sure that we do the work for our school and for our district. We make connections with post-secondary institutions, business and industry partners, community and civic organizations. We were able to crosswalk the Marzano model of instruction to the standards of practice for the National Career Academy Coalition. We understand each other's roles. We understand where we fit and how we fit together to make the Diploma Plus work. We now have partners contacting us to be a part we now have partners contacting us to be a part of our advisory boards and engage with our teachers and our students. We were able to do some pretty amazing things in and outside of our building this year. We have been bold in our ask. We have taken risk with permission. I want to acknowledge the building and district support, Drs. Lane, Strickland, Tucker Nevels, Dr. Paul, and the Diploma Plus team, and many others have been in our corner during this implementation. We are working with our partners to make sure that our students succeed. Again, it's all about building relationships and empowering our students to perform their very best. The evidence of our work can be through our partnerships and with employers, and to create those internships, which you'll hear about from one of our students, and the series of job fairs this year that we had across the district. Thank you.
Thank you. She looks so much like her mother. Great day.
Awesome. Just a brief update before we talk about the amazing work with our apprenticeship, I'm sorry, not apprenticeship, but our internship programs. We started this year a series of job fairs upon recommendation for our Diploma Plus Steering Committee. They've been awesome. So knowing that the ultimate goal is for our students to graduate Diploma Plus with these endorsements, we need to connect with employers so they get these high wage, high demand positions. So this school year, we embarked on a process to engage every single high school so that all students are able to connect with employers. So at every high school, there were 6 job fairs altogether. One at every high school. We included Fairfax, the School for the Blind. 58 employers were involved, and we actually reached over 600 students, even though it was available to over 1,000. That's huge for first year. So this first year, it truly is about setting that foundation, learning lessons, figuring out how to get this work done so we really impact every single child. So with that, I just wanted to kind of put that on your radar. And then also, we have some testimony from a student, of course. So, okay. And thank her for waiting so long. She's been here for the whole time.
Yeah, awesome.
Crystal?
Yeah, thank you.
Hello, my name is Crystal Pacina. I'm a senior at Washington High School. Back with the internships, I will be doing 3 internships. I finished one during the summer. I'm currently enrolled in one, which is a CVS internship, and then I'll be doing another internship during the summer at KU MC. Basically, what they're useful for me is because later on in the future, I want to become a neurosurgeon. I want to be an MD PhD student, and with the MD PhD, you're going to go into the medical field, and I want to become a researcher with that. So I want to study neurology, So I know that when I'm done with the CVS internship, I'll automatically get a job. They'll be paying me around $14 an hour, which is pretty good. But I'll also be working as a CNA during my college time that I'll be attending Avila University to major in biology to start my career in the neurosurgeon aspect. So thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming.
And I want to congratulate that student so much. Neurosurgeon. Have you thought about Johns Hopkins?
Yeah.
That would be just awesome. Like, that is just wonderful.
Thank you.
I just want to applaud, Crystal, you epitomize what the Diploma Plus program is. So I publicly applaud you for all your hard work. And to this team, and many team members are not here, you are really leading trailblazing work. So I publicly thank you all for what you're doing and creating the opportunities for our young people. And board, you have been in support of this and continue to support this. And again, Crystal is an example of what this work will actually produce. It was mentioned apprenticeships, and I know at a few board meetings ago that was I actually have a meeting this Thursday to investigate how do we connect apprenticeships with some of the trades so that our students can get connected with that. So at some point I hope to be at a place where I can come and give the board an update on how we are even growing the program to connect some apprenticeship opportunities for our students too with some of the trades. And hopefully after this Thursday we'll get the ball rolling in that area too.
And I do have a question for the committee. How can we help our students get to some of these top schools, the Ivy League schools? Because statistics show that if a student goes to Ivy League school, they will get paid more than going to a local university. Is there currently a challenge or a charge to get some of our students to Stanford, Harvard, Howard, to these Ivy League schools? Is there any push currently, just like the neurosurgeon? You know, is there any certain push for that right now?
Okay, so I hate to do this, kind of hate to do it, but stick with the career academies. I mean, the research has proven that our scores will go up, attendance will go up if they're engaged in their classes, and it's directly related to their interests. So, I mean, we're on the right track. It's just going to take some time to get there. I mean,
well,
yeah.
Like, for instance, I spoke at Wyandotte High School last week, and we talked about some of the Ivy League or HBCUs, and we really talked about the importance of looking at them as an option. But I just wondered if there was a push or an encouragement to look at some of those schools.
Of course, absolutely.
Okay.
And Dr. Yeager, I think when you hear Ms. Ryder talk about exposing our students to college and career experiences, that's a part of what we hope that they're exploring at the middle school and continue to explore that when they move into high schools too, because you're right in terms of making sure that they know that they have options and are prepared to be successful in those settings.
And I have some connections at like Boston University and some of the East Coast schools that I'll be happy to give referrals to, because they do accept students from all over the country and will pay for them to come over the summer. So I would love to help partner and get our students involved in some of those. Thank you.
And I'd just like to say I appreciate each of you for what you've done. If we didn't know what Diploma Plus was, you've explained it very clearly. And it's a good format to start, to be able to get our students to elevate themselves to a level. The sad part is I wish they had it when I was coming through. Because I can see the benefits of this. And Dr. Strickland, wants to thank you and your committee, everybody, for what you're doing, because this is a good direction to move our young people.
Yes, it is.
Ms. Ryder.
Just a minute, Janie.
This brochure is really great to give an overview. These cards that you've came up with, whatever you call them, are excellent to have for parents.
Yes.
Because it's concise and explains the options, and it's something that you can carry around and share easily. So the more that you can do things on this size, I think benefits the parents and the students.
Thank you. Yes, those are at each of our high schools on the ready for parents to take away. And again, thank you to Melissa Bedford-Fierce for that idea.
Wow. I have a question. If I started at Wyandotte and decide that I don't want to be in that particular program, can I switch? Or are you locked in?
You are not locked in. We are working to build some parameters around the switch. If we want to make sure that students are able to complete the Diploma Plus endorsement that they're working towards, so we want to make sure our parameters give guidance for that. So we're working on finalizing those opportunities.
Dr. Strickland, I got a quick question for you. Are you actively reaching out to local companies to partnership with, or how active are you in that respect?
Actually, the team actually is probably more active than myself. They have, what we have done, how it's structured, you have the steering committee, who is kind of the CEO level. What they have done, CEO level of industry that are connected to our academies. Myself and Dr. Lane work very closely with that level, and we ask them for networking connections. And so what that is translated into is advisory boards at every school.
I see.
And so the short answer is yes, and that typically comes through relationships. You heard Ms. Matoya mention that this is all predicated on relationships.
Right.
I have found that once you get connected to one industry person, they tell you, hey, you need to call this person too, and you need to call this person too. I mean, Dr. Yeager, you've even shared some names with us that we have invited. Chief has shared names with us about people to invite to our steering committee. So that's a long answer to say yes. And it's not just me, but it's a lot of people that are working to connect with industry. And it's interesting. The more people know about this, the more they want to tell, hey, you need to call this person and get connected to this person. So it is absolutely growing very fast. In fact, I have to kind of stay out of the way because the good leaders like these building people over here, they make it happen quicker than I can. So I just try to broker relationships with industry people. For example, I know that they will be, Washington specifically, will be doing something with Train in the near future, and that's just, I said, hey, here are smart people, they'll make it happen, and they're making that happen at Washington real soon.
Well, can I make a suggestion? When you look at the bills that we pay out a lot of money to people in the metropolitan area. We need to tap into them. To me, it's not fair for them to come in. We pay them, and we're not paying chicken feed. They're getting paid. And because they're getting paid, we need to be able to call and say, we have some young people who have training and blah, blah, blah. Could you let them come and be an apprentice, volunteer, make some kind of connection? Because they're getting paid, and they should be willing, happy to give something back because they're steady getting their checks. You know, we go through a list. So-and-so needs to be paid. They're getting paid. They need to get something back. And if we could call them, because we got a list. All we need to do is check with our budget, whoever, finance department, whatever. Get the name, start calling them. They need to give something back. They take, but they need to give. And our kids need to see it. And we're paying. It's not like these checks are bouncing. They're good. They get to the bank, they cash. So they need to give something back.
Mr. Page, your comment reminds me that we should update you on the companies involved with the steering committees and the advisory boards, and you can see who we have, and then we can work on those that we need to engage. Outstanding report.
Sure is.
Very good. We're so proud of you, Crystal. Thank you for representing so well.
Thank you, baby.
Please allow me just to add that there are programs that I will describe as boutique programs in some high schools around the metro area or state that are doing this work for some kids. Your bold move is that you've said each of our students need access to this kind of learning, and so thank you for engaging each, and these talented staff are making it happen.
Yes.
Great report. Thank you, Dr. Strickland.
May I ask, so when is the next steering committee meeting?
June 7th.
June 7th. That's something that
And Dr. Strickland, does this list include Argentine Middle School does internships too? Does that include that school as well, or just the ones on your committee?
When you say like the businesses?
Right. They have
Benish, for example, yes, Benish is on that list, and they are on that committee too.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Okay, we're now ready for the consent agenda. A motion to accept the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and second. All those in favor? Aye. Those opposing? Hearing none, so ordered. Thank you. Payment of bills. Hello?
Madam President, I just have a generic question.
No.
And I asked this 100 times. Have we communicated about either the benefits or the not benefits of being a member of the Midwestern Higher Education Compact? Mr. Correll, are you familiar with that?
The Midwestern, I didn't get one. The Midwestern.
Every year, we get a presentation from the Midwestern Higher Education Compact, and they give us a list of contracts that hardware and software that school districts participate. And the list is just, it goes from Lawrence, Shawnee Mission, Blue Valley, DeSoto, Emporia, Wichita, Valley Center, blah, 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 blah. Their pitch is that there is savings in getting these types of services through them, software better than the state. So I've just wondered again, have you looked into it closely enough to see if we can benefit from? I can give you the list that. That'd be helpful. Okay. If you wouldn't mind, Dr. Wynn, we'd be happy to look into it. This is an older list, but. Yeah, if you don't all right. mind, that'd be great. Thank you.
I'm confused.
No, that's all right.
Payment of bills. Oh.
That's what she was talking about, a
right.
resource that might be helpful to us.
A resource.
Dr. Wynn, maybe I can make a copy of that before you leave tonight. And that
You can
way
have it.
we'll-
I got
Are you done? Okay.
That's an
Excellent.
older
We'll
list, yeah.
pass that along. Thank you very much.
Okay.
I move we pay our bills.
Yeah, I got something I want to ask. I think I've asked this before, Dr. Mallard. When I look at the roster, I mean the payables, it's really confusing to me. And I think you answered it before. Is it possible we can kind of lump some of these like-kind expenditures together versus having them all over the place?
Yeah, these are individual checks essentially that are being cut to be paid. So that's why they're not together as like things. In our Business Plus software application program, what you see is the descriptor that's based off of the budget number that's being paid. Essentially, it's like an object code or a description. So you may see things like supplies multiple times for different vendors, individual checks. So it's hard to put it all together in one lump sum, but you have to have a list of all the bills that you're paying.
Okay. Just thought I'd ask.
No, that was a good question.
Second.
Motion been made and second to pay the bills. Any other questions? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposing? Hearing none, so ordered. Thank you. All right, we're now ready for the discussion. Board policies and consultants. You want to do that? Yes.
Madam President, I had I requested a discussion. Policy BBG that is identified on our document says the board may use consultants to advise the board, and the superintendent is authorized to engage a consultant for pay without prior board approval for $20,000 or less, and there is a list. My discussion comes from a discussion a few of us have had about different aspects of the organization. And we have
asked each other questions and have come up with the need for clarity. So as a result of this, and it's kind of as we move forward in this transition era, I will have two motions. The first motion is that based on, in accordance with Board Policy BBG, I move that the board hire a consultant to advise the board and to conduct an internal audit of the district's administrative tier. That's the motion. That's one of the motions. Want me to make the motion again? You understand the motion?
No.
Okay. In accordance with Board Policy BBG, I move that the board hire a consultant to advise the board and to conduct an internal audit of the district's administrative tier.
Dr. Nguyen, would it be helpful to clarify what you mean by administrative tier?
Do you, okay. The ESSA, the self-study that the outside visitation team and the self-study that the tier of instruction and below is take care of itself. We ask questions, we're asking questions about the administrative tier that I guess is the organizational chart that you provide for us that comes from the superintendent down to your directors. That is the administrative tier I'm referring to. So I made the motion.
Second.
Hire consultant.
Any other questions? I don't understand it, but.
Well, I can discuss it even further. That we have an organizational chart.
Right.
Okay. We have a self-study going on with teachers and curriculum that is called ESSA, right? And what does ESSA stand for? KISA. And what does it stand for?
Kansas Education.
School accreditation.
So it's kind of a self-study of all of what we're doing in those categories that you have identified. And we have an outside visitation team that evaluates and gives direction.
Right, correct.
I'm saying as we move forward as a board, we need to hire an independent consultant to just answer to the board, to do a self-study of the upper tier. And the second motion would be how we do that.
Okay. Motion, any other?
Read the motion?
No, it's been made, motion been made in second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposing?
Aye.
I do, because I don't understand it.
Board, as you move forward with that,
Motion
I
passes.
might suggest to you that you really take a look at what the superintendent is charged to do. And one of the things the position is charged to do is form the organization chart.
True.
So I might take a look at that.
And I have a second motion, Madam President. The second motion is that the board create a subcommittee, a 3-member subcommittee according to policy BBC, to work out the details and bring it to the board for approval. That's not listed, that's just a board policy. Board policy BBC is entitled Board Committees. Subcommittees of the board may be assigned on a temporary basis and shall consist of no more than 3 board members. Board subcommittees are subject to the open meetings law. So the second motion is to have the board create a 3-member subcommittee to work out the details. And I guess a parenthesis would be to acknowledge what Dr. Lane just said in its deliberations. Bring it back for board approval before we move any further.
Second.
Motion been made in second. Any other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposing? Aye. Did everybody vote? Motion passes. Okay. Review of board policy, GACA.
So, Madam President, I was thinking, and this is based on policy GACA, positions and compensation. It reads, employment positions and compensation shall be authorized by the board. Subject to necessary board approval, the superintendent or his/her designee shall develop work schedules for all employees, blah, 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 blah. I know Dr. Lane said at the May 29th meeting, we would be talking about how the district proposes to talk about substitutes. I wanted to have a little discussion earlier than May 29th to explore what thoughts had the administration been going into to address how we're going to handle substitutes. So that, in my opinion, came under the category employment positions. And that's policy GACA.
So, Dr. Nguyen, you're suggesting we move up the report on our implementation of the sub-plan?
Well, I would not think you would have had a report prepared, but I would venture to have us start having that discussion with what are some of your preliminary thoughts.
Well, we're past preliminary thoughts. We are hiring substitutes, so the team is going to update you on that plan. So
you have. So my question is, what staff have you put in place? Have you new positions? There are no new positions for
there are some new positions. I think those are posted, not hired, but we could not delay. So after the Morgan Hunter contract was not continued, the staff have been working to recruit subs. So that's why we're bringing you a report on status report of where we are with that at the end of May. We could certainly look at moving that up if the board desires.
Well, with that in mind, so could you concise that, make that concise as far as how do we prepare to hire substitutes? What positions? What are they substitute coordinators? Are they?
We'll be glad to bring all that to you when we do the report. That's part of that report.
There's no preliminary that you can share with us?
I don't think it'd be comprehensive tonight, but yes, there are positions posted. Mr. Thompson is overseeing that. We are already recruiting subs. The rate of pay for subs, remind me, Dr. Mather, Mr. Thompson, 120 a day. Is that correct?
140 a day.
140. So we'd be glad to bring all that to you. You'd like to do it in a comprehensive package.
Right. I wasn't interested in actually the subs themselves. I was interested in understanding and having some information on the structure.
On the structure.
Of how we were.
So we'll be sure and bring that to you. Those positions will be on your salary schedules that you've already approved, and so we can talk about placement, exactly where those are. But is there a desire to move that report up to the first meeting in May?
Because people have been calling us and asking us, what's going on?
Today,
they want to know.
This is the first meeting in May. Yeah. So we're, I'm sorry, I was thinking we're still in April. So we'll get you the information at your next regular scheduled board meeting. And certainly if people are calling you, refer them to the Human Resources Department, refer them to my department.
And Dr. Lane, there was a question, is there an alternate route for retired teachers to come in as a sub, or could there be an exploration of alternatives so that CAPERS won't be affected?
No, ma'am. CAPERS, if they are an employee of the district, they will be under CAPERS penalties. But we can talk about all that when we bring the report.
Because that was one of the questions. If I know when I retired, at that time, they were saying you still had to take a test. I thought it was absurd. I just retired. I got to do all of this. I still have my teaching license. I have all this, and there were just some things. Some retired teachers, they want to know, or those who are about to, if I sub, then what's the criteria? What do I need to do? Do I need to take this test? Do I need to do this and that and that? So they're asking, and we'd like to be able to give them an answer.
For now, refer them to the Human Resources Department, Mr. Thompson specifically, or my department. If you have specific questions you'd like for us to address in that report on the 29th, please get them to me right away so we can be planning to prepare for that. So structure of the oversight and the overall operation of the program.
Yeah. Because again, that was the point of the request, because the 29th is a long way away. And thought that we possibly should have some discussion prior to that time. So thank you, Madam Chair.
And I have a question. It may not, you'll tell me if I'm wrong, but we've gotten phone calls from people who would like to transfer to another school, but they've heard nothing, and they're wanting to know who's going to call them. They don't want to wait to the last minute. Should they be looking for another job or move somewhere else? They haven't heard much from HR. So what do I tell them? Who do they need to call?
Mr. Thompson. Have him call Mr. Thompson, and he can clarify the timeline for transfers and notifications.
Okay.
Any other questions?
All right.
I think we have a motion on the floor, if I'm not mistaken. We don't?
No, that was just a
motion.
discussion.
Oh, okay.
Changes to your BCBH policy.
Did we do that?
We don't have to vote on it?
No.
Oh, that's just a review. Okay. Proposed changes to the board policy, BCBH.
I think the, as is written stands, there was one modification that was recommended by the committee to strike where it says within 7 days after each meeting. It was as soon as possible. It didn't have a specific date. So that's what we had discussed, is removing the specific day. Exactly. I make a motion that we adopt this, the update to policy BCBH, reading with the highlighted unofficial meeting minutes shall be sent to the board, proofread, edited, and error-free as soon as possible after each meeting.
That's good.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposing? No. You voting, Maxine? No. Did you vote, Harold?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't hear you. I'm sorry. So motion passes. Did you get that? No, she didn't. Okay, those voting yes, please. So she didn't get the.
Who voted yes?
Motion passes. Thank you. Miscellaneous, what's that?
A space for any other item that needs to be discussed by the board.
Madam President, we had also had a discussion that a few of the, for whatever reason, staff persons request an additional day for a listening tour. We've mentioned that, but we haven't nailed down a date. So that's the hard part. This month is pretty full.
Graduations and everything.
Correct. So I would just move that we look at the month of June, and it is a daily event with each other, but that we look at the month of June to identify an additional day for all those who weren't able to participate in the listening tour. So I make that motion. And we wouldn't have to determine the date now.
You said in June?
In June.
You're wanting staff?
We've gotten calls from staff, from other people. As I say, for what reason, I don't know, that they were not able to participate in those other three. But saying that there are voices that need to be heard. So why not?
Make it a second.
A second.
Motion's been made and second to have another listening tour in June. Date to be determined. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposing? Motion passes. We're now ready for executive session. I need a motion for the board to recess into executive session at, need to give them about 5 or 10 minutes to get out. 4 minutes till 9. And for 5 minutes and state, what's how long should we give? For
8:55.
8. How much time do we need, Mr. Gould? Ten minutes. Come back at.
With action to follow.
All right, we'll come back at about 7 after 9 with motion, with action to follow. So what?
Yeah, so ordered.
Motion been made and second by Wanda. All those in favor? Aye. Thank you.